It's all led to this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Welcome to your field, your Curry College Colonels. It is now time for your national anthem. We ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem, sung by Lucas Pasternak.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight hold the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in
Wow. Welcome, everybody, to Northeast Sports Network presentation of Division III football on a beautiful fall afternoon here in Milton, Massachusetts. We are at Curry College, where the Colonels are playing host to in-conference foe Nichols College. The Bison come into town. It's an intriguing early season matchup. And tell you, this is Rich McDonough for the Northeast Sports Network. I'm along with my partner in crime, Jason Roby, the coach, the UNH football alum. And this is an exciting atmosphere on homecoming day, Coach. Intriguing matchup for every reason in the sun. And before we get going, props to Lucas Pasternak on a stirring national anthem rendition.
Absolutely fantastic, Rich. Great to be here with you up in the booth. And what a beautiful day. Great national anthem. And you mentioned the intrigue behind this game. Both of these teams are tied at the top of the standings in the conference. Something's got to give here today. This is a Nichols team that comes in a little bit banged up. They've had to make some changes, and they've done so quite nicely. The question mark for them is the defense. And we're going to get to take a look at them right from the get-go here as they prepare to kick off. And Monty Quinn on the other side of the ledger.
The show.
And we'll talk about him as we get going.
All right, Curry is 4-1, 2-0 in conference. And Nichols are 2-3, 2-0 in conference. Three-way logjam with these two teams and Endicott. Big boot to start the game. Brought it back quickly right there by the speedy Jordan DePina. He gets out tall and gets north of the 30-yard line, where they will go 1st and 10. For it looks like they'll set that ball down, nose of the football at the 34.
Yeah, DePina there, Rich, started left to right, and then he kind of broke to the visiting sideline following his blocks. Did a nice job. A nice pickup there on the opening kickoff. Pretty good field position to start
and
for
again,
the Colonels.
All eyes are on number one, Monty Quinn. He's 4,500 yards. He's almost near 1,000 already in 5 games, and he's diminutive, but he's fast. He's Barry Sanders-like in his quickness, and he is a running machine. He's getting NFL looks consequently. All right, that's Anthony Santino taking snap from center, firing up, and aforementioned Monty Quinn just barreling. Not only is he fast and shifty, he is powerful, even at his size, Jason.
Well, let me tell you what he did. We have our first flag, maybe a little bit of an embellishment there on the tuck, duck, and roll. But
I saw a little WWF maneuver right there.
But Quinn, the nice job is the patience. He's quick, he hits the hole, but he waited for his line to kind of set the tone and lock on. You're going to tack 15 onto this one. So a nice pickup on first down. We'll add 15 more to that one.
Yeah,
and the
Mike,
Colonel's already, Rich, in Nichols territory.
Yeah, and you got the little post-play introductions going on. 15-yard penalty, nevertheless. Already that moves the ball down to the 35-yard line, piercing Nichols Bison defensive territory. Auspicious start for Curry College right here. 1st and 10, there's Anthony Santino in the pocket, and they got the guys to jump. We'll see who the guilty party was. Of course, Curry is placing the blame at the fellas trimmed in white.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure he went into that neutral zone,
That's
so we'll
the
have
key.
to check. And then the Curry lineman kind of stood up. So I think it could go either way here. We don't have a good angle as to see. Yeah,
They're going
to go
offside.
defense.
I'm a long recovered lawyer, and that looked like a judicial conference right there, Jason Roby. So
I might need you later, Rich, so thanks for that.
hey, look, 20 yards without snapping the ball right there.
Right.
That is a diabolical way to start if you're Nichols.
Well, Nichols has to know where Monty is at all times, but they can't shoot themselves in the foot,
Can't
and they've
do
done that.
Or in the hoof, since it's Bison. Ball's at the 30-yard line, 1st down and 5. Nice little flare pass out there to the wing. That's a talented wide receiver in Colin Ridley. He's having himself a good year. He hauls it in and moves the chains.
You can see the pace here, Rich. They are a little heavy on the hurry-up. We used to call this NASCAR. Get on your Pontiac and ride. He's in the shotgun. When he takes that one step, that kind of looks like a 3-step drop from under center.
All right, Santino takes it, gives it inside, and there goes Monty Quinn. Wailing. Look at it. Look at the acceleration, and he is an escape artist in addition to all those other skills.
The one thing there, if you're Nichols, a great effort, but you have to make the tackle at the point of attack. You can't give up. That was a 1-yard gain potentially, and he turned it into something bigger.
And Coach Vinny Marino for the Bison over there, he said they want to get up into the backfield, jam things a bit, and try to make him one-dimensional. I think that's hard. That's a tall order for any team.
It's difficult. All of the 2001 New England Patriots, right? The objective of that game was to stop Marshall Faulk, get a hand on him wherever he went, and ended up working out for him. But easier said than done.
All right, first down and 10, somewhere between the 15 and 16-yard line. Fake. Quinn goes up the middle, goes left, breaks him. And his ability to roll out of tackles, Jason, this is what we saw on the film. It's a special skill, and you can't be taught. You can work on it, but you can't teach it.
You can't teach it. It's vision and a jump cut. Those are things, while keeping your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, Rich, we call it running with our eyes, and he does a spectacular job of just doing that very thing. Big gain on first, second, and 2.
And we got to talk with Coach Todd Parsons, had a nice Zoom call. Obviously, we love having number 1 here, but don't overlook our receiving core and the ability to play action.
They can put up some points in a hurry, and it's not just from the running back position.
All right, second down and 2. And there is the slant right
Touchdown.
away. And there's the big tight end, Danny Doris, out of New Hampshire, Exeter. We drove down from New Hampshire this morning. And, wow, that was an authoritative opening drive,
Well,
Jason.
we do have a penalty flag
I
down
saw
about
that.
the 8-yard line. What you had there, Rich, was you had a little counter action in the backfield, little play action, and then they threw the slant off of it. What they're trying to do when they give that run action is get the linebackers up, which worked. Doris was wide open. We're going to get an eligible receiver
Downfield.
up the field, so we're going to have to replay that down.
I think one of the linemen got faked out by the play action play. And so did Rich McDonough here up in the booth. Sorry about that, folks. 12:25 on the clock. Would-be touchdown has been negated by the illegal receiver downfield. That'll walk back 5, and we'll have a second down and 7.
And you'll have some defensive substitutes here. They're probably thinking a little more of a potential pass set with the personnel they brought in. We'll have to wait and see what they line up in.
Talented receivers. You got two left, one right in the form of Matt Bowen to the near side right there. And there goes Monty Quinn up the good tackle from behind. That's what they wanted to do, is get your linebacking core chasing down line and clog things up and follow that down block and get in the gap.
You
right?
want to stay in your lanes. You never want to chase the same jersey to the ball. You have run fits that you need to maintain, and Nichols that time were able to get more than one to the dance. Minimum gain.
Well, I'm looking at the big fella there, Danny Doris, number 44. He is a mountain at this level, and he's looking right at the coach. I wonder if they got something called for him. All right, 11:44 on the clock. The Colonel's knocking at the door. Roll out right by Santino. Big bullet pass. A lot of people think he got there early.
Yeah, I'm included in that, and I'm a defensive guy, so I think he may have gotten there a half a step early. Fans up here in the booth, in the stands, feel the exact same way.
Yeah, we got 2,000 referees in the game right now, but Wesley Williams unable to haul that one in. And in comes the talented kicker. This is a very talented kicker.
Yeah, you told me a
Omar
great story about him,
Abutui.
Rich.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a moment. And into hold right there is Finn Sullivan, who goes wide receiver, but great hands taking the long snap right there. 11:35 on the clock, 8 on the play clock as the Colonels are trying to cash in on their first drive. Had a touchdown wiped out, but they're looking for 3. And he gets that ball up in a hurry, and it is clean. Isn't that Jason Roby?
That was a great kick, but good snap and hold, good protection up front. We watched him in warm-ups, and he has quite the leg. He can boom it, and Rich, he's set a couple of records last week, right?
Not only that, he set 3. He had a 46-yard field goal to put himself in the record books, and then a little later, a 48-yarder. And then what did he have to add? The trifecta, 53 yards. And 53 yards is a great boot at any level.
Any level, no question about it. Nichols fortunate there, Rich, to come away with just giving up the 3 points. As Curry was in the end zone, and they had to go backwards for the ineligible man downfield. So being down just 3-0, and very fortunate.
And Nichols has been in some games already where we've seen a lot of points. Record-setting defensive and offensive game a couple weeks ago. What was that one, Jason?
The all-time highest score in a college football game. I believe it was 90 to 62.
92 to 60.
92 to 60. There it is.
Coast Guard.
Yeah.
That is bonkers.
Interesting kickoff alignment here by Curry. We'll see if they shift. This is to confuse the blocking scheme or to get them out of there.
That's a nice high boot. And fair caught right there. That's a wise play right there. Not everybody realizes that you can do that. That's a good heady play right there by Mike Orville.
And I'll tell you the importance of why that is, Rich. That was we call that a rainmaker. Not a cloud in the sky today, but the more hang time those kicks have, the faster your coverage team can get down the field to minimize that gain. So a good heads-up play because of the hang time on that kick.
All right, well, the Bison will set up shop. 1st and 10 at the 25, down 3-zip at the 11:32 mark here in Milton, Massachusetts. Again, homecoming, and the stands are still filling up, Jason. It's fun to watch, isn't it?
It was a great drive in, seeing all of the excitement on the students and all the activities going on campus, culminating with a great game here today.
Okay, going in motion, Bison. That's a nice run up the gut on 1st down. I think that's what the Bison really need to do. That's Evan Toth who came in. The top 3 running backs, Jason, for Coach Marino's squad, banged up in preseason and out, so we've got first-year players in the backfield, and they're doing all right.
Yeah, it's next man up mentality, right? These youngsters are no longer youngsters. You're in week 5 and week 6. You're playing like a sophomore now.
All right, pairs to the near side, single wide receiver top side. And that's Ian Snow taking the shotgun snap, giving it off again one more time. And there's a nice gang tackle right there by Curry College. And when we talked to Coach Parsons, that's what they wanted to do, kind of snuff out the running game. They've got a good passing game and maybe be able to set the stage for taking away what they do best with their one best receiver.
Yeah, it was a good job by the front. Obviously, Nichols got what they needed to obtain the 1st down. They used their slot or their wingman as their puller or their trap guy, and they followed that block nicely. Nichols 1st and 10.
1st and 10 on the 35, 10:29 on the clock, 3-zip on the scoreboard in favor of the hometowners. That's a good play right there, finding the big fella, Kevin Ferroli. And lefty quarterback right there finds himself a little gap. Mini slant, right?
Yeah, they go empty on that, Rich. And,
Yep.
and again, when you're in the shotgun and you take one step, that kind of looks that's supposed to simulate a 3-step drop. So anytime you do a 1-step drop from shotgun, you can expect a quick curl, a quick slant, a stop route. Don't run into the coverage. Sit down and take what they give you. Nice sizable gain on 1st down, 2nd and 2.
Pitch and catch. They pick up 8 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 2 at the 43-yard line. Snow gives off, running into his own man in the backfield. Ball hit the carpet. It's just a question of when and how. There's yet another conclave. Unofficial, it looks like right now, but I think it'll stay with the Bison.
Yeah, you'll watch that one back on replay. There was timing mishap in the backfield. Something didn't quite click, and
yeah, well, that's part of the game. That's why the ball is shaped like a funny pumpkin, and it bounces sideways, backwards. They lose 3 on 2nd down, so they make it 3rd and 5.
That's never been said about you, has it, Rich? It's shaped like a funny pumpkin?
Not yet. I'm working on it. Empty nester now. I'm having to eat all the kids' hors d'oeuvres. All right, 9:02 on the clock, and that forces Nichols to call a timeout.
Yeah, a good timeout, Rich. It's
Yeah.
an important one. This is a big play in the game. We talked about the importance of shortening this game if you're Nichols. The longer that you have the ball, the less time Curry's on the field offensively. We know they can put points up in bunches. And in talking to Coach Parsons, the big challenge for his team today is, can they play a full game? Because they really haven't had to play a full collegiate game. They're out. A lot of their starters out by halftime.
Yeah, but nevertheless, they're number 1 in scoring in the conference with 249 so far, averaging 49 points a game. That's Titanic. I don't care what division you're in.
Well,
right?
49 points a game is extremely impressive, but I think the thing that when we talked to Coach Parsons on the phone yesterday, he said, look, we need to be aware of situations. We need to be focused on things that we need to focus on, not necessarily worry about the opponent, worry about the things that we're doing out there.
Yeah, control what you control. All right, 9 minutes even on the clock after the timeout. It's 3rd and 5 for the Bison. Snow looking up, gets gang rush, bull rush. Great late block right there to free Snow up. He finds a receiver in traffic who gets drilled. Holy cow. Putting the kibosh on Jack Morvan, who's a terrific receiver and a captain. Nice second-level secondary play right there.
Great secondary play, but also something that we talked about, Rich, yesterday was you have to make the quarterback work to his second and third progressions. And the most impressive thing there, Curry only brought 4, which means they were able to drop 7 in coverage with 1 spy on the quarterback. Well done by the Curry defensive unit.
And even with the 4, they flushed him, and that disrupted the whole play. And again, you got to the second and third read.
Oh, you're going to get a rough and call there.
All right, Ridley back to pass. Flag, a punter remains down as Ridley, the fast, speedy, wearing number 4, he gets out of bounds just shy of the 40. But taking the play and maybe doing a little bit of acting is Foynes, the punter.
Well,
good. Sometimes you got to sell it.
You're going to watch that back on the replay, and
he got hit.
He just ran right through him, and I'm sure Coach Parsons not going to be happy with that because it's very well going to give Nichols a first down.
Yeah, it is a personal foul variety.
And that drives you crazy as a coach. Control the things you can control. Penalties and turnovers are things that will keep games close and will make winnable games that you come up short in. Nichols going to keep the ball here. And again, we talked about the game gets a little bit shorter now because Nichols gets the penalty, gets the first down in Curry College territory.
And your defense had just, firmed things up, made a good stand as Nichols had a little bit of momentum. They snuffed it out. You've got a terrific return man. Give him a chance, right, Coach?
That's exactly correct.
All right, 45-yard line into Curry territory, courtesy of that personal foul. 45-yard line, first down and 10 for the Bison. Empty backfield. He's got one to his left. There's big guy Snow. And he zings it with the left hand. That's a nice low pass. We got refs on the sideline
saying it's complete. It is complete.
It is complete. The Curry College bench was trying to rule otherwise. Nothing doing. That's a good throw after he had to scramble out of the pocket.
Unbelievable throw because Curry had all of the lanes covered. We talked about the pass rush being like kickoff coverage. Head for the upfield shoulder. Quarterback made a play there.
That was a good 14-yard gain. 9-yard gain, make it 2nd and 1. Looked like they had nothing. They created a lot of positive momentum. Here goes up the gut is Ricardo Nevedo. And he moves the pile there, Jason Roby. These 2 freshman running backs, inexperienced. They're getting experience, but very powerful runners.
Not only that, though, Rich, what it makes you do is your offensive line has to step up. You got some young guys back there. You've got to sustain those blocks a little bit longer. You have to get some good push up front. Great job by the offensive line.
All right, Canuel split out near side. Nevedo remains in the backfield as we got motion.
Pull.
And right to Nevedo it goes. And he gets more positive yardage up the gut. Pretty good stop on the interior right there, courtesy of, let's just call it the entire Curry College defense right there.
What you saw there was a down block at the point of attack, 2 pulls by the guards leading the charge, and a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, Dylan Adams leading the charge right from his kind of nose position, if you will. They play 4, but he lines up on the football very, routinely, or at least close to it, and gets those paws down on the ground. 6:49. 2nd down and a long 6. And Snow's in the backfield, rips that lefty shot. Intended right there over the side for Canuel. Can't make the play, but pretty good defensive play right there, courtesy of
number 19,
Cherry.
Cherry. Yeah, that was a great job. He kind of, not backpedaling out of there too fast. We used to call those tempo steps. It's kind of a step slide. And you read the drop back of the quarterback. It was a 1-step drop, which signifies a 3-step drop from under center.
There you go. And importantly, he kept square and kept everything in front of him, and he was able to come up and make that play. Good job. And it was a pretty good throw. 6:41 on the clock. 3rd down and long for the Bison. Nose of the ball just outside the 25. Snow drops back quickly. There's another nice left-handed rip, and this time he does connect. With Canuel.
Yeah, he's going to have enough for the first down there, Rich. The Colonels brought 4 and brought a late blitz from the outside backer on the left side. It didn't get there in time, and nice job by the quarterback, just pitch and catch out there.
And he's 6'1", is Canuel out of Bishop Feehan and South Attleboro, but it looks like he's got a good long pair of arms, and he, high-pointed that and, importantly, kept his body between him and the defender.
I got a great Chip Kelly story for you about height and speed. We'll try to get to that in the first time out.
All right, first down and 10 at the 17-yard line on this pretty good sustained drive, courtesy of the Bison. Current drive is 10 plays. They've amassed 58 yards and heading in for the red zone and looking to create after they got down 3-zip early.
And how did we get here, Rich? And you hate to keep revisiting, but you go back to that roughing the punter, roughing the kicker penalty. It really changes the complexion of the game in the early going.
And both teams have shot themselves in the foot. Curry had a touchdown wiped out by an illegal receiver downfield. All right, quarterback draw right there for Snow. He's a good runner in addition to being a good passer, and he has done yeoman's work coming in not as the projected starter.
He was a tight end, right, Rich? He was a tight
QB,
end.
He played 7 games last year, but the starter, Will Maglaccio, got hurt early in the year, banged up his hand, so Snow had to go back, and he's done a terrific job.
A lot of times when you recruit, you go after the athletes. You go after kids that can play multiple positions, and where can you put me, Coach? I'm here to help the team.
And that's a good attitude. He's 6'3", 225. You always like having fellas that's 235, excuse me. And he's a talented senior, so he's going to have poise. All right, third down and short. And he keeps it himself, calls his own number, drives toward the goal line. Gang tackled right there on the 1. Thought he might move that pile inside with the big fella, but he had 3 Colonels blanket him. Nevertheless, we're going to have first and goal, and Nichols Bison are knocking at the door at the 4:25 mark here on our first. They went down early, 3-zip. Great drive. Had a penalty, of course, but this has been authoritative as well.
Yeah, Curry just lost contain there, Rich. Someone's job was to maintain that edge, and the Bison able to take advantage.
All right, big set inside. You get your tight end in the H-back position. And Nevado is going to take the ball. He looks like he wants a touchdown. Unable to corral it right there from behind was Yordumian, who's a good tackler.
Yeah,
they're
touchdown.
Waiting for that, and now they rule it. There was some disagreement at the beginning. Chalk up 6 for Nichols. Terrific drive and a good answer right there, Jay.
Yeah, not a bad drive for Nichols. They take advantage. And we talked a little bit, it's interesting. We talked with Coach Parsons. You want to win that turnover battle. You want to win that penalty battle, but at the same time, you have to answer when you get those opportunities. Nichols answered the call right there, no question.
And here comes Foynes to do the honors. He does the punting and the kicking. So do both teams. And Foynes strikes it with his right. Kick is true. Chalk up one more. It's 7-3 for the visiting Bison on homecoming day here at Curry. 3:57 on the clock. Your impressions after that first couple of drives, Jason Roby?
Well, I think that I like what I've seen out of Curry, their ability to just move the football down the field with Monty Quinn and throw the ball, quick strikes. I think if you're Nichols, you have to be real happy with where you are with 3+ minutes to go here in the first quarter. You were basically giving up possession. You get a roughing the punter penalty, but you still had to make good by that penalty, and they did just that, marching in from 45 yards out to take the lead. So I'm impressed with both of these teams thus far. I think they got to settle down a little bit. More specifically, I think Curry has to kind of stay within themselves here and do the things that they're capable of doing. Can't make mistakes, can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, in pregame we were talking about, with the coaches, both sides, Coach Marino in particular, all the injuries, they're making lemonade out of lemons. But you also got to take what you're given, and both teams have done that to a degree. And if the refs are going to throw some laundry, let's make the most of it.
But don't forget, you don't bring lemons in to play college football. You go get good players,
that's right.
And that's exactly what they did. That's a credit to the coaches going out and doing some solid recruiting.
And that one, Knuckles, it looks like it's going to get out of bounds, and that'll be more laundry, and that'll bring us out to the 40-yard line to get things going. That's a tough way to clap back, if you will, after a good drive.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give a good team great field position.
I think he was trying to keep it away from the speedy Kareem Chaplin on the right side. DePino, he saw his ability to run back as well. So it's like death by paper cut either way. But that one kind of knuckled off the inside of his foot, and we could see it coming right at us from here.
I'm sure the coaching staff didn't want the kick to look like that, but at some point, if you are going to have that mentality, maybe you just onside kick it.
Excuse me, I said 40, wrong league.
35.
35-yard line here, 1st and 10 for the Colonels. 3:57 here on our first. Colonels find themselves down 7-3 after that good drive by Nichols.
Yeah, a little window dressing there as they stack the receivers to try to get you to not pay attention to the man behind the curtain. It's just a handoff to Quinn.
All right, Santino does hand it off to Quinn. Strange territory for him, just getting 1 yard.
Well, they're going to load the box. They're going to make you pick your poison here. Obviously, the game plan is to limit what he does, force their other playmakers to beat you. We know that Curry does have playmakers, but I like the game plan so far by the Bison.
All right, after the gain of 1, it's a long 9. 3:23 on the clock, 7-3 on the scoreboard here in favor of the visiting Bison. Little inside half. Oh. There's that juke, and here comes that speed. Number 1, he's going to take it to the house, baby. And that didn't take long. And this is why the man leads the nation and is the all-time rushing leader for this Colonels squad. What a run. And everybody was jammed up in the box.
Time for the football geek in me, Rich. I was watching a 5-man box trying to go against 7 players. And a lot of times when that happens, you have one player filling late from his outside linebacker position. But if you are Quinn and you only have to make one man miss, I like your chances. A 5-man box against that, you'll take that all day long.
All day long. And, we frequently see him get tackled at the 2nd and 3rd level. There was one person between the 2nd and 3rd level. That was it. And then clear sailing for the fast kid from South Carolina. All right, didn't take long. Add 1. 10-7 now, and if you're going to punch back, that's a pretty good way to do it.
Now that may have been the wake-up call that Curry needed, and really, Rich, for everybody watching at home, for those of you trying to figure out what it looks like, all you have to do is just count the number of players that are inside the box there, that box area between the tackles. In that particular play, Curry outnumbered Nichols by 7-5.
Well,
I'm no math major, but I'll take those odds.
64-yard touchdown run, and that gets number 1 over 100 already. And we still have 3:09 to play in the first quarter here on homecoming. Boy, I tell you, we got to drive through the Milton campus here. It's really pretty and lots of good folks. Even the cops were nice to us. I'm kidding around. I've got police in my family, and I was hoping they were listening.
They never proved those charges, Rich.
That's right. Well, we said otherwise at Thanksgiving dinner. All right, putting the big boot into it one more time is Abutui, and that one sails into the end zone and through. So no return. We're going to go to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bison. What are you thinking, Jason?
Something not to be overlooked. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The 3 phases of the game, the kicking game is so important at every level of football, whether it be high school, college, the pros. But here, making your opponent have to go 80 yards or 75 yards or whatever the case might be, that's a weapon. And when you have a good kicking game, that really can change the complexion of a game.
While we're a little break here, I want to thank our new buddy, Jamie Reynolds, who's producing everything for Northeast Sports Network here today, making us sound good, look good. Well, look good is tough. All right,
got a good face for radio.
All right. Inside handoff goes to the speedy Jack Morvan. He picks his way around, gets short of the 30. Decent gain on first down when it looked grim with the bobbled snap.
Well, Coach Parsons talked about him having to know where 83 is at all times, and they're going to try to get the ball into their playmaker's hand. Morvan came around. Nice pickup on first down. Got about 5, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, really made something out of kind of nothing because it was clogged up, and that bouncing biscuit is tough. All right, 2nd and 5. 2:36 on the clock. There's that lefty pass. They've been going to that play a lot. Hey, and the coach got himself a catch.
Well, I'll tell you what happened there. The secondary bailed out on the coverage, and it just sat down, and that one was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from about 10 yards away. Just too much
A little bit too much sauce on it, perhaps. It is the end of baseball season. And the lefty does have a big arm right there. All right, nevertheless, after that incomplete pass, or complete to the coach, and he did get a hand from the Curry bench over there. All right, it's 3rd down and 5. Nose of the ball is on the 30-yard line, with the 35 being the line to gain. Single back in the backfield. Snow looks it over, takes his second read, and has to go up gut, and he's gang tackled in there. Led once again on the inside by, again, the whole, excuse me, got a fly buzzing around the thing. But Dylan Adams, number 58 in there, he is awesome at spearheading that charge in the interior, Jace.
Yeah, you have to have a guy, we call them war daddies sometimes, guys that can kind of mix things up and you kind of rally around them because they set the tone for your defensive front, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he's been making play after play. And are we in 4-down territory somehow?
Well, maybe so. I tell you.
Trying to get him to jump.
Curry gives a different look in the secondary this time. It was a cover 2 look last time.
1:45 on the clock. And you want to go to your powerful back. Entire herd is saying that we nickname them the herd, but they are the Bison. They're saying they got it, the sticks are moving. That was a good hard drive by the freshman Navedo out of Millbury, Mass. and St. John's High.
Yeah, nice job keeping the legs driving. If I'm the coach of Nichols, I'm telling my offensive line, instead of pointing first downs, stay on your blocks.
And they went right at the strength of the interior and just take him on, and he did drive the entire interior there. But Adams, we were just talking about him being a war daddy. Freshman was a war daddy as a running back. Indeed. Right there. 1st and 10 for the Bison. Doing what they need to do, taking a chance on 4th down, but they trust their system. That's a good fake here.
Nice tackle, balls on the carpet.
Massive hit on the inside right there. Great job. Balls on the carpet. I think they're going to rule that down.
He recovered it himself,
Yeah, that was Shane Field delivering some serious plastic. And
again, the run fits there, Rich. Excuse me. The run fits by Curry, the Curry defense. Everybody has their job. Everybody has their responsibility. That gap covered nicely by Curry. Great stick.
All right, 2-yard gain on first. Make it 2nd down and 8. Nose of the football is at the 38-yard line of Nichols. Quick snap, quick drop, pitch and catch. Goes out to the wide side right there. And picking it up right there is Evan Toth, flaring out of the back. It's getting feisty over there on the far side, Jason.
Well, 2nd and 3rd effort by the back on the swing route, and broke a couple of tackles, made some people miss. Great effort there, and it's going to be close to the line to gain unless they said he was out of bounds.
Well, they're moving those chains. I'll tell you, Toth, this freshman tandem that has come in, having to do, subs with the injuries right there. They're doing themselves a good job right there.
That's going to be it for the first quarter, Rich. Yeah, 10-7 game. Now, we thought we were going to have to bring NASA in here to run the scoreboard after some of the games we've seen these two teams play, but so far a pretty good back-and-forth battle. Your thoughts?
That was exciting. I mean, back and forth. Each team punched back when they got punched in the stomach. And but here on homecoming, they are not disappointing. This is why they're tied at 2-0 for the conference lead. Fellas are going to take a 1-minute break. We're going to do the same. We will see you on the other side. Rich McDonough, Jason Roby for the Northeast Sports Network. We'll see you. Thanks for being with us. All right, that was a quick timeout. Northeast Sports Network here in Milton, Massachusetts on the campus of Curry College, covering Homecoming Day on this gorgeous October afternoon. Rich McDonough and Jason Roby along for the ride. It is 1st and 10 after that Toth effort. It's at the 47-yard line.
Reverse.
And look, reverse pass coming, and the gadget play. Beautiful pass, arcing, finds the hands of the streaking Canuel all the way down the field. He gets down to, looks like the 1.5, maybe the 2-yard line. What a play design, but we have laundry on the field, Jason Roby.
Yeah, and
I think it's all coming back.
It's coming back. A nice play design. You could see the reverse coming early. They protected it well. Nice throw, but a holding call, spot foul, going to bring that one back. Unfortunate for Nichols.
Wow, that'll walk him back 10. The laundry is on the field. It looks like the 43. And we're right at that line, Jason. We could see that unfolding almost in slow-mo.
Well, we have the benefit of being up high, and as you watch the play, you never watch the ball. You watch the line movement. You watch the movement of the offensive line, what they're trying to accomplish. And down the field. Great job, a great catch over the shoulder, but unfortunately for the Bison, they'll have to try to do it all over again.
Well, I'll tell you, some really big and would-be important plays in this game already have been negated by penalties, and that's been a sub-story so far.
Penalties and turnovers will do you in every time.
Well, I coach forever, and that's why my hair's gray. It's not age. Oh, a little bit of a low throw looking for Nevedo. Couldn't catch that one, couldn't bring that off the laces, and that'll bring up second and a mile, 20 yards if you want to call it that way.
Great pressure by the four-man front for Curry there. They did not need to bring anybody else. They stayed in their lanes. They got up the field, made life difficult for Snow. He had to get rid of it in a hurry.
All right, 2nd and 20, as we just said, 14-19 on the clock here at Walter M. Katz Field. Again, the turf is sun-stroked. It is a gorgeous fall day, and the crowd keeps filling up. They were expecting 2,500 people here. We may get there. All right, Canuel near side. Big rush right there. It forces a high throw, and I think Snow is feeling the pinch right there. He went down hard.
Yeah, they're getting good pressure off the edge, Rich, and the fact that you only have to bring 4 and you spy the quarterback, that means you can double team the receivers out on the perimeter. And I'll tell you, that was a near hash throw to the far side of the field, the most difficult pass to complete in any level of football.
And Zach Wilson brought the heat right there. 14-14 on the clock. It is 3rd down and long, and you hear the 3rd down call from our PA announcer here. This is a tough situation. What do you try to manufacture?
You don't have a lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and 20 plus.
Right.
Screen maybe, and there it is.
There it is. All right, good job picking his way through is Tayshawn McGee.
You know, Rich, I think that play may be a play earlier so that you can come back on 3rd and 10. But I love the call. Great job. You get 12 to 13 yards, but again, it becomes a field position battle. You'll have to punt it away.
Well, this gives you an opportunity, and we've seen he's got a big leg. And, if you can get a nice high punt, a sky ball, what'd you call it, a rainmaker?
Rainmaker.
All right, you can pin the Colonels deep. But back for the Colonels, you got that speedy Colin Ridley. We saw his wheels on that kickoff that was called back. He's got it off the bounce. He plays the miss. Good job by Ridley. Good hands. And look at the wheels as he gets around the edge.
Well, I'll tell you what you're going to see there, Rich. You're going to see 5 or 6 white shirts all following each other. And that spells disaster when you're in your coverage because you don't want to be on the same level as your other defenders. And he made one man miss and got to the sideline pretty quickly.
And the 6'3", 220 Kevin Frioli made that tackle from behind. If he hadn't, he's probably got some green space dancing up the sidelines, and the kid's got great footwork, so he could have made more. All right, it'll be 1st and 10. Looks like ball's at the 25-yard line. We don't have the luxury of a mark on the scoreboard here, so we'll do our best. My LASIK surgery's holding up well. All right, Santino with Quinn in the backfield. Fakes him. Little bubble screen out to the side to the aforementioned Speedy Ridley. Peabody Mass fellow, went to Peabody Veterans Memorial High School.
Well done over there on the perimeter, Rich. Nice block. I think it was number 2, if my eyes serve me correct. I have not had LASIK surgery, but nice block at the point of attack and had to make one man miss.
Well, Ridley for the season, even with the Monty Quinn show, he's got himself 14 catches, a couple more today, coming in with 195. Pretty good job given how authoritative this run game is. All right, he picked up 7, make it 2nd and 3 with 12:39 on the clock.
Yeah, they went the stack look again, and so far every time they run that stack, that's just window dressing to make you widen the defense and create some running lanes.
Yep.
For Quinn.
All right, 3rd and 1 after a 2-yard gain for Quinn, adding to his total. Again, he was over 100 in the first quarter, courtesy mostly of that 64-yard touchdown blast. And with 12-12 on the clock. Again, it's 3rd down and 1, and it's a short one. We'll see what they do here. Quinn's in the backfield to Santino's left. You got pairs near side and a single receiver split topside. And you go to your old reliable. He picks his way through traffic, good job tackling up, but still, he picks up 6 yards right there, moved the chains yet again for the Colonels.
They had a run blitz dialed in there, Rich. They came from that intermediate level and tried a slant up front with a blitz from the second level. And when you blitz and you miss, sometimes you're going to concede that first down.
But unlike that last time, there were people home at the second level, so pretty good job. But, yeah, Coach Marino wanted to get deep into the backfield as possible and jam it up. If they can repeat performance all day, that would limit him, but this guy is so explosive and dynamic, not likely. 1st and 10 for the Colonels at the 11-12 mark.
Good time for the quarterback.
All right, Santino flushed. A real beautiful throw.
Scramble
and
rules.
wow, an exciting catch right there by Kareem Chaplin. We mentioned him as an awesome return guy.
Yeah.
But Santino made the most out of that one.
But let me tell you what happened there, Rich, for those who are watching home. They went scramble period rules. We'll tell you what that is after this snap.
All right, 1st and 10 into Bison territory. Little bubble screen out there to the near side receiver, Wesley Williams.
Nice tackle there.
Yep.
Scramble period rules work like this. You get flushed out of the pocket and things break down. Short routes go deep. Deep routes come back to you, and that's exactly what you saw on the play before. That was a short to intermediate route. Quarterback scrambles. That route turns into a deep route. Nice job by the quarterback recognized. And that's a period you work on in your practice schedule.
There we go. And we all know that as football fans, but now we got the human dictionary with us, courtesy of Jason Roby, longtime coach and UNH player back in the day, and my regular partner in crime in the booth. All right, 2nd down and 7, and here goes the show. He cuts up, cuts through, finds his own holes, and he gets into the back of the end zone.
Yeah, they pull both guards, super power to the right, and just nobody touches him till he gets to the second level. He picks up a fantastic block from his teammate Colin Ridley.
Yeah, he was upfield there.
Great job blocking, and he just waltzes into the end zone. Special player, but a nice job by the front blocking it, and a nice job in the secondary, the edge players blocking.
Also, there's recognition. It's IQ. You know what you got coming carrying the football. How do I make the best block I can wherever I can? Maybe even get a second block. All right, Abutui comes in. Big leg Abutui. Looking to add one more and make it a 10-point lead at the 10:02 mark. And the reliable kicker who's second in conference in scoring, courtesy of that big lead, converts. Perfect kick. And 17-7 we are at the 10:02 mark. I tell you, that was classic Monty Quinn. His shake and bake, it looks like he's on a clean line, but he's really not. He makes you miss in a heartbeat.
And part of that is, and we've said it earlier in the broadcast, you run with your eyes. And part of that is a pre-snap read. We always talk to our players about what are you getting for a front? What does it look like? Where could your cut be? You don't just look at the hole you're going to. You look at what the defense is giving you and where your players kind of match up. It's all about puzzle pieces, who fits where, and where could that break come in. That particular time, Quinn, as elusive and as quick as he is, didn't have to do a whole lot until he got to the second level.
All right, Abutui's going to put it in play, kicking off from his 35-yard line. Back deep for the Bison is Orville and Loringer. And he goes yard on that one. Again, another fair catch called for, but it backs him into the end zone, so that point is moot. But still, good IQ, understanding how lofted that ball is, another rainmaker, and the coverage would have been there had he decided to run that out. It's cerebral.
It's just a weapon, and what it does is it allows you to do some different things defensively. Anytime you get a good return, it kind of changes your philosophy. It changes your defensive scheme. But when you have to start on the 25-yard line, you can do a few more things. You have a few more tools at your disposal, and it's certainly a weapon that Curry has.
Okay, you just witnessed, if you're Nichols and the coaching staff, you witnessed the fact that you're up against a high-octane offense that can get it done in a hurry. How do you answer back here, Coach?
I think you just keep doing what you're doing. You've been shown the ability to move the football, and there it goes right there. Again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Penalties and turnovers will do you in. If you can have a penalty-free drive and keep possession, it'll be a one-score game at the end of this if you can get down there. And you've shown the ability to run the football, and certainly Nichols has scored points. They have the people to do it.
All right, after a 13-yard run by Nevada on first, it's 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. This time they try the other side, and a real good hunt down from the backside by the excellent playing Eli Vasquez-Bastardo, who's among the leaders, a big fella at 6'5", 265.
And just a great player to have there.
Yeah, and he is a defensive leader. I mean, he's up in the top of the stats in the Conference Northeast in many categories, sacks, fumbles, etc. Really good player. He takes a seat, takes a breath. All right, 2nd down and 10 after that no gain. Lefty pass is wobbling and high. And pretty good defense right there.
See, I'm throwing the flag on that one, Rich.
You think?
I think so. I think the Nichols coaches wanted it too. That's a tough one. He didn't look back, kind of made body. It was an underthrown ball, so he had to work back towards it. And the Curry player kind of ran through the receiver.
And we talked about it earlier. That was Albert Pujols back in traffic. He's got a great name.
Sure does. The play before that, I want to make sure I give credit to Mark Abney. He didn't make tackle, but he disrupted things in the backfield enough for his teammates to kind of get there and minimize that last gain. So sometimes you don't get credit for the tackle, and that's okay if you're doing your job. You're disrupting things anyway.
All right, after the stop on first and the incomplete on second, it's 3rd and 10 at the 8:58 mark, and flushed yet again is Snow. The lefty has a little bit of a seam and then picked off. Wow! Now Chibi-Cherry, he's got the ball. He's down, but Curry ball one more time, and there's Laundry on the field. Are we going to see something negated yet again?
I don't think so. I think that's post-interception. I think there was a block after the pick. I think Curry gets the ball. We'll have to check with the officials. Great blitz pickup, by the way, by Nichols, but they flushed the pocket. Yeah, it's going to be a personal foul on the return. Head-to-head contact, so never want to see that in the game. But it is going to be Curry ball. So, Rich, what did we talk about yesterday with Coach Parsons? We got to make him look to his 2nd and 3rd options. We got to disrupt that pocket. Snow had to roll to his right. Great blitz pickup, by the way, by Nichols. Want to make sure we give credit there. 5 versus 5. They came with a late blitz. But good job in the secondary. And, again, there's your turnover.
There we go. And, Cherry, we were watching him down warming up. This kid is an athlete and a half, wearing number 19 out there. You don't like your personal foul. You want to keep your game integrity. But it's 1st and 10 for Curry at the 20-yard line. And with a bit of momentum, and here comes the Quinn show one more time. He picks up a big chunk on 1st down, going left side. But, again, running with his eyes, as you said, Coach, and quick. And now they're back in tempo. That's tough to be up against if you're Nichols.
Yeah, we used to call it NASCAR.
NASCAR, I like that. And look at the speed to get around the edge. Here comes numero uno one more time. Are they going to catch him? One man to beat. He splits the defenders. Holy cow, has he got vision? Has he got 6?
I'm going to tell you this, Rich. They had the angle on him, and he just exploded through that 2nd level, made one man miss, and he was off to the races. Very, very impressive. Good blocking again at the point of attack, and Curry finds themselves in the end zone. And suddenly, after that turnover, the complexion of the game starting to change.
Well, if you read old stuff about Jim Brown, when he was running, he said he wasn't worried about the first guy or the second guy frequently. He was already looking for his 3rd cut, and I think Monty Quinn has that mentality.
That's a good mentality to have.
It sure is, and he's got the athleticism to do it. Abatui boots it through one more time. This is a real good kicker. His aim is true. Add one more, and it's 24-7 now. It was a close game, and the walls are starting to cave in a bit, Jason.
I just think if you are Nichols, there's still 8 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. And as a coach, as a coaching staff, you come in with a game plan. I hope they continue to try to attack that game plan, because there's a lot of football left. And in college football, we see it week after week at every level. There are always big comebacks. I don't think you have to start throwing the ball around the yard just yet. Stay with that game plan. Keep running that football. getting some first downs. That'll open up your pass. But now if you just go strictly to the pass, the Colonels can pin their ears back, come after you, and make havoc.
Well, I'll tell you, Monty Quinn had himself a 64-yard touchdown earlier. That was 76. He's already up at the 217 mark for the game. Pretty good start.
And, you know, he hasn't really played a full game this year because he's had first halves like that.
Boy, that kick, he could kick at any level.
Another
really.
weapon.
That's a big thing. And they're getting a little chippy post whistle here. You got to watch that long term. If I'm the coaching staff, I want to kind of dial that down.
You got to reel that in, and I think, you know, tensions get high. You've seen players look to the opposing sidelines several times. Keep the game in between the lines, keep it in between the whistles, and do the things that you're supposed to do. A lot of times tensions get high, you get a little chippy, and those things happen, especially in a contact sport like football. But there's a lot of football left to be played here. You got to keep a calm head and attack the next play.
And we finished up with Coach Marino a couple days ago. He said, yeah, it's an emotion-laden venue today. You want to play with emotion but not be emotional, and that's probably time.
There
All
is
right,
a difference.
1st and 10 at the 25.
I think he may have just missed his cut. It may have been a jump cut off to the right there.
And the big fella right there, holy cow.
Yeah.
That guy packs a punch. Does Zach Wilson.
They get downhill fast, Rich. When they get their run keys, their run reads, they are filling those gaps, and they are filling them fast. I'd like to see Nichols maybe head back to a play action, maybe another middle screen of some sort.
All right, let's see if the coach has the crystal ball alive and well and polished up. 1 yard gain on first, make it 2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line. 7:40 on the clock. Nichols trailing 24-7. That's a good play right there. Oh, and he looked upfield beforehand. We got personal foul in the backfield,
yeah,
I believe.
We have a helmet off, and if it's because of the play of Curry, he does not have to come off the field. When you lose your helmet, you have to come off. But if the penalty is against Curry, he can stay on the field. We'll check it.
And Canuel had a lot of room to roll, and I think he was aware of that. He took his eyes off the ball and started looking upfield briefly. And when you don't look it in, you can't look upfield.
Got to catch the ball first. And I think they have that one-step drop all day long because Curry doesn't want to get beat deep. They want to keep everything in front of them. So take the 5 yards and now make it a one-on-one game. You know, you've picked up 5. That's going to give him 15 on the hands to the face penalty.
Right, and that'll set up the ball 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. 7:30 even on the clock with the time stopped for the moment and until the snap. And that's about our 3rd or maybe 4th personal foul of the game so far. All right, 24-7. Curry in command at the moment, but Nichols getting a bit of life. Whoa, making the throw, finding Canuel. That's a remarkable throw by Snow as he was being pulled to the turf by the big fella, Vasquez Bastardo.
Yeah, Snow showing pretty good strength there. You can see the left knee wrapped up tightly as he kind of limps towards the line to get the play.
We saw him get gimpy a little earlier in the game, and he does have that tape. He's 6'3", 235, so he's, he's a man and a half back there. He's a strong kid and was able to get rid of that. That's remarkable.
The protection was good early. It broke down late, and he was able to kind of stay upright and complete the pass.
Well, Bastardo at 6'5", 265 can collapse a lot of things. 2nd down and 3. Give it back to Nevedo. He takes a big hit and bowls forward. Human bowling ball. That was a rather John Riggin style in some ways.
They ran a reach play to the boundary. There wasn't a lot of real estate out there to operate, but he picked up the 1st down, so nice job. Good, strong running. Got his shoulders square when he needed to. Picked up the 1st down for Nichols.
He's listed at 5'6", 165, but he plays like a much bigger guy. Anyway, they get into the Curry half of the field. Ball is at the 48-yard line. 1st down and 10. Time ticking away. It's 6:05 as the snap comes to Snow. Fakes
nice
inside.
Pickup.
And then he's got a seam, but nothing that closes down. Good job by the secondary. 2nd level throw. It was headed for Jack Morvan, knocked away right at the end. Kind of good closeout right there.
Yeah, great job on the secondary, staying with the routes. Nice job by the Nichols offensive line, providing protection. Snow had to slide to his right, directing traffic. Just a better defensive play.
He's pretty darn good when he rolls out, isn't he, Jason?
Well, I don't know that was by design. I think
No.
he was forced.
No,
and
I know that.
Yeah, I think he was forced to do that.
Okay,
But on the move, yeah.
I said rolls out. Let's go with scramble.
For you and I, Rich, it would be run for your life.
Run for your life, exactly, which means end of story. Okay, after that miss and a nice defensive play right there, it is 2nd and 10 at the aforementioned 48-yard line, 5:58 on the clock.
Yeah.
Nichols trailing 24-7.
Boy, they do a nice job, does Curry, minimizing the gain. They rally to the football. They don't follow the same path to the receiver. 2 players on that tackle. But I will say, that's a good second down play. You have 3rd and manageable, and I might even go so far as to say this is 4 down territory if you're Nichols.
Gotcha. Well, that was Canuel's 4th of the day, but, yeah, keeping everything in front of you. I mean, he's a good receiver. He's got great hands. Snow throws with a lot of pace, so they're going to get a connection. Just minimize it, as you said. Great job. Okay, they pick up 6, make it 3rd and 4. 38-yard line is the line to gain right there. 5:12 on the clock as it keeps rolling. And there, one more time, going to the big fella this time. That'll be Kevin Ferroli. He went to LaSalle Academy in North Providence right there. Real good school. Big lacrosse school.
There you go. They found something here, Rich. They're liking the right side, the defensive left side of the Curry defense. That was just a combo route. 1 runs a vertical, 2 runs a quick out. They're using that quick game. They're using the sideline. They're getting the ball to their playmakers in space, and they're moving the sticks. And this is exactly what we talked about. Stick to the game plan.
And the safety in the corner, Leander and Cherry, are talking it out with the coach as the snap comes on 1st and 10. 4:30 on the clock. We'll see where the fellas in stripes mark the ball down. Looks like he got about a 6-yard gain. And, yeah, he went to the 29-yard line, make it 2nd and a long 4. 4:21 on the clock.
I want to say that was Carson Clark, the other freshman running back. Big kid back there. Nice, strong run. 6 yards on 1st down.
Hard to pick that up in the sea of humanity. And Snow is just enveloped. And there's our guy, Vasquez Bastardo, breaking things up and making it work. Yeah, Carson Clark did come in the game, 44. I mentioned John Riggins just a moment ago, who wore 44.
There you go.
I grew up in D.C. football. And I'm getting old on D.C. football.
That play was that looked like, again, the second time we've seen the timing kind of disrupted in the backfield for the Bison. So they'll have to go back to the drawing board. But, again, no panic. You're in 4-down territory. You've got 2 downs to get 4 yards.
We're at 3:35 and counting. They lost 1, so make it 3rd down and 4. Man in motion. Looking to get that in the
all
flat
day
there.
long.
Same thing with everybody back in coverage.
Still on his feet. We
Nice.
lost him there on the sideline, Rich. The missed tackle.
And that was McGee again. He's done that a couple of times already, and then he's showing that he's got a lot of fight in him once he gets some contact.
It was 24-7, Rich, with about 8 minutes to go in the first half. And I want to take you back to that point in time. We said, look, don't change the offensive game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing the things that you do. Run it, sprinkling in with some out routes, some now routes we call them, some sit-down hitch routes. Nichols is doing just that.
They're taking what the D is giving them, and then their interior, the running backs are doing real well in the interior, and they're all freshmen. Quick read, quick slant. Wow, finding once again the ever-present Canuel. This kid gets open, and once he gets his hands on it, he brings that down. He's got some strong hands
He
there,
did
Coach.
a great job. What they did there to set that up, Rich, they motioned to trips, and then they run a slant on the backside. They actually had a safety sitting there waiting for him. He got there a half step late. Good stab.
All right, deep in the red zone at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal. And Snow tries the interior, tries to move forward. The Curry College fellas are saying they got the ball. Nothing doing right there.
I think they've done that 3 or 4 times so far this game. They're trying to influence the officials.
It's quite
for sure.
a voting pool. Hey, it's homecoming. Give us a call. All right, 2 minutes even. And that'll get us they don't call it a 2-minute warning in college. It's the 2-minute timeout.
There it is.
But this has been a wonderful drive under the gun, right?
Yeah.
You know, things are looking grim. And as we said, to introduce this drive with our conversation with Coach Marino the other day, who said, we've got to play with emotion but not get emotional. Some teams could get emotional about going down after having a good lead and then going down so quickly and realizing you're up against a juggernaut. Way to keep your composure.
got to keep your composure. It's a game of emotion, as you said, but not emotional. And if the game continues on this pace, I think you're going to see this thing go into the fourth quarter. Now, here's what we've noticed, Rich. Because of this drive, Curry does not have the football. When Curry does not have the football, Quinn cannot score. and that's why I say to you, you could go into halftime with a 10-point ball game, and I think that's not scoring there on first down. You're going to knock another 30, 40, 50 seconds off the clock. That's a great play.
All right, after the 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout, it is second and goal. Ball hits the turf momentarily. Snow picked it up, and now
touchdown.
And they touchdown. The Curry College kids were voting for another fumble, but no dice. But Snow drives it in. They cap it off from the 1-yard line. Excellent drive, and the answer that the Bison needed, right, Coach?
Yeah, that's a huge drive, and if you're Curry, you score quickly, and then you give up a drive like that, the confidence is back for Nichols. You have to love it if you're Nichols, and if you're Curry, it's back to the drawing board defensively.
All right, Foynes comes in to boot after that 12-play, 75-yard, 8-minute-plus drive. He pulls it a little left, and he missed it. That's a big miss right there.
Yeah, the kicking game so important, and we stressed that multiple times here today. We talked about it with Coach Parsons yesterday on the phone and on our video conference. The kicking game is a third of the game. You really have to make sure you have that dialed in because that can be a difference maker in a close football game.
Huge.
But I don't think you lose confidence in the young man. I think you send him back out there because in a close game, you're going to need him.
Well, just to hit the reset switch, Curry comes in 4-1, 2-0 in conference, and the Bison come in at 2-3, but also 2-0 in conference. They went 0-5 in conference last year, and Coach Marino's got them headed in the right direction in a bunch of ways, even though they've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I look no further than the recruiting that this coaching staff has done. The guys that they've brought in, because of those injuries, those kids have been pressed into action early. And when your future relies on a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, they've done a great job finding these players. So kudos to them, and they're still in this game.
All right, DePina and Chaplin are back yet again. Speedy pair in deep, and this one looks like it's going to DePina. He comes over like a center fielder, takes the ball away.
Nice
There's
block.
a gap. Here he goes upfield. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. One man to beat. Nothing doing. He's dragged down from behind by the ever-speedy Tayshawn McGee. And, wow, what an answer right back after that touchdown and long drive. And DePina, I think he just noticed what he saw on his left side, and he called off his running mate right there, and he said, I'm going left because I see a gap.
Well, the return was clearly set for the home side. You want to do that at the end of the half. You want to get as good a field position as possible. You're going to be in your 2-minute right now, and you only have to do it from your opponent's 44-yard line, so you're in pretty good shape. He almost kept his feet there, Rich, by the way, too.
Yeah, he
rolled
did.
Out of that tackle.
All right, nose of the ball at the 44-yard line, directly in front of us. 1st and 10 for the Colonels. Trying to answer right back. They flare it out rapidly to Ridley. Say that 10 times fast. And it's a pretty good gain on first down. Just keep those sticks moving as we're at the 143 mark. He got knocked out of bounds. Clock stops right there.
Yeah, keep those timeouts for when you need them. Get out of bounds. Work the sidelines. If you're Nichols, you want to try to keep the plays inside the numbers. And if you're Curry, you're trying to get them outside the numbers.
All right, they picked up 4 on first. Make it 2nd down and 6, exactly at the 40-yard line. 1:43 on the clock. Curry not done yet. They don't want to be done. And here's a man who can get it done. Pretty good D right there.
Yeah, Quinn, he had something initially there, got driven back, but they're going to give him forward progress. He's going to be just shy.
That said, you're doing what you need to do. It's 3rd and short. And the clock's running at 1:24. 3rd down and 1. Give it to Quinn again. Nice job from the backside. Swallowed up. Lineman coming down line. That looked like
99, I think it was.
Yeah, it was A.J. Samuel. Yeah, I had an eyeball on him earlier. He's 280 pounds at 6 feet tall, and that stops the clock. Loss of 2.
And it forces Curry to take a timeout.
Yeah, 1:15.
Talk this one over. You got a 4th down and a long 2, almost 3 here, Rich. So this is a big play, and for each of these teams. Can change the dynamic of the game going into the second half based on what happens on this next snap. And you heard me talk earlier about the importance of height on receivers. Chip Kelly, who I played for at UNH and obviously went on to Oregon and then Ohio State and had a couple of stints in the pros.
You made his career.
Yeah, well, I didn't get him fired. How's that? But Coach Kelly used to say if you have a 4.4 corner, 4.4 speed, 40 corner, and you have a 6'3 receiver that only runs a 4.8, you'll take that receiver because the corner has to slow down and run a 4.8, and now it's a height competition. So if you throw a jump ball, the shorter, faster corner can't out-jump the taller, slower big man. And so I always found that an interesting strategy, especially when at Oregon he had guys that were running 4.2s and 4.3s all over the field.
All right, uncharacteristically, Quinn lost 2 on that play, make it 4th down and 3. 1:15 on the clock. Curry with an interesting call right here. You're kind of in no man's land, so why not? Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Wesley Williams finds the purple grass. Add-on 6 for the Curry College Colonels. Beautiful design play right there.
Yeah, nice job, and you could kind of tell based on where he was lined up. He was lined up outside the numbers, right? They fake the speed sweep to the field. That opens up the slant. Linebackers come up, creates a nice window. Ball was put right where it needed to be. Touchdown.
And with the skinny side, near side that time, with pairs out to the other side, there was so much green space in the middle once that fake occurred, right?
Yeah, nice job of and that's a lot of the work you do in your film sessions. Where do they line up defensively when we bring out this formation? And they knew, and they ran it to perfection.
But that was a nice rip by Santino to get that out with some pace. And again, the big fella boots that through. Add 1, he is true. 1:08 on the clock, and it was what, 2 minutes 55 seconds was on, or minute 55.
It was a nice kick return, right, Rich? They had that quick kick return to get into Nichols' territory, and you're playing downhill in front of the sticks on every snap. It's a good look if you are Curry College.
And what's the psychology if you're Nichols? You had a great 8-minute drive that looked good. You were getting some mojo back. You put it in the end zone. You miss an extra point, but after being down big,
you feel good
because you're down 2 scores with momentum, and then right back down come the fellas in purple on homecoming day. That's tough.
Every play is important, whether it's a punt, a kickoff, an extra point, a play from scrimmage. Every play is important. You can't get it into a scoring competition. It can't get into a track meet here with this Curry team.
All right, Loranger and Orville back one more time. They've been kicking to Orville over and again. We'll see what they do this time. Doesn't matter with that leg. All right, he does handle it in the end zone. Did he go in and out or out and in? Yeah, he did.
Oh, boy. They're saying that he didn't call the fair catch until after he caught the ball.
And I don't think he did.
And I don't think he did either. High school football, if you step in the end zone, it's a dead ball. Collegiately, they're talking about it now.
I'm dating myself here, but I never forget as a kid watching this guy, Herb Mulkey, play for Washington. He didn't play in college, but George Allen found him. And on his first ever return, he caught it at the goal line and saw the other team coming at him, and he stepped into the end zone, and Speedy Duncan, I think, waved him up and said, "You got to go." And guess what? He goes 101 for the TD on his first ever ball handle in the NFL. And he wore number 28 before Darryl Green made it famous.
Okay. Fastest man in the NFL at one point in time.
And he ran a 4.5 at the age of 60 recently.
That's quite impressive.
Yeah.
So we'll look at it. They're going to give him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's proper.
Catch the one,
You're allowed to go back in the end zone, but you got to get it back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 107 on the clock, a mile.
Yeah, they're just going to be a scrum here, and we'll see if Curry uses a timeout.
Well, I think they got
not.
2.
If they do, if this play.
And here we go. They do use that timeout. I think
you know what, though?
smart.
If you're going to call the timeout, you got to do it right away. You can't let time run off.
Yeah, you burned
just
off
lost
5
or 6 seconds. You know, if you're going to do it, do it. And I think the conversation with the coaching staff maybe didn't happen until later in the possession. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, there are still people coming in. Coach Roby.
It's
I mean,
homecoming weekend, Rich.
It's awesome. I love it, and they're ringing the field on both sides. You got the contingent over there for Nichols. They're baking in the sun. I hope they brought their sunscreen. You got the cheer squad down there. They're in their pyramid. I mean, this is just a great atmosphere. You got vendors all over the place. Hey, props to Curry College for doing it right.
Putting on a great show here, and a lot of families are here to see their kids on homecoming weekend, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun had on campus here tonight.
I might stick
Responsible
around.
Fun, Rich, of course, right?
No, they're going to be having fun hitting the books. All right, after that gain on 4-yard gain on first, it's 2nd and 6, but backed up deep into their own territory. Going out to their ever reliable, great-handed receiver right there, Canuel, but he's blanketed quickly by Cherry.
Yeah, that play action and the quick throw, you have to wonder at some point if Nichols is going to run the pump and go the out and up, because they are just jumping that out route.
Well,
and they do have over-the-top help, but if you have it to the field, you might be able to make something happen.
After the Curry TO and the 5-yard gain right there, it'll be 3rd and short. So if they can get something, a little surge in the interior, maybe give it to Nevado one more time, they can dodge what Curry has lined up, I'm sure, is like quickly march down the field, maybe get a boot, and they have the big-legged kicker to do it.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I mean, with this dynamic offense, we're going to see it all. All right, 3rd and 1, 48 ticks on the clock, 31-13 in favor of the home field. Colonels on homecoming day. Yeah, give it to the big fellow, Carson Clark, wearing 44. He dives up off the right tackle. He got the first, and that'll get us out of the half likely. I don't know what the stoppage is here, right?
They got to move the sticks, and then they'll reset, and here we go.
You could take a couple knees and get out of here.
Or do you take a shot, Rich?
They're
going to go victory.
It's a good secondary for the Colonels.
Go into victory formation just to get yourself into halftime.
So, you're the Nichols coaching staff. What are you talking about when we take the break?
Well, I think you don't reinvent the wheel. You keep doing what you're doing.
And they do some good things.
And they do. And if you have a trick play here or there, you might dial that up. Maybe an onside kick. That was also a philosophy when the spread offense first came into being. A lot of people don't know this when it came over from the West, but you're okay giving up field position, because if you give up field position and the team you're playing scores, that just means you get the ball back faster.
There we go.
And that was the mentality. So we'll see.
All right, it was an exciting first half nonetheless. It's 31-13. Curry College takes a lead into its homecoming break. And we'll dial up a few stats when we get back. We'll see if we can get some information from the sidelines, and then hit the reset switch. The guys are going to take 20, and we're going to do the same. It's Rich McDonough, Jason Roby, calling all the action on homecoming day in Milton, Massachusetts for the Northeast Sports Network. We'll see you on the other side of the break, folks. Thanks for being with us.
nervous?
Yeah, no, I was just thrown off when he said cheerleaders because that was clearly the first team. Can I have some respect?
It's like, what?
Clearly identify them.
And welcome back, everybody. We are in Milton, Massachusetts, Curry College campus. Say that 20 times fast. Northeast Sports Network is presenting you D3 Football Conference Northeast. Rich McDonough along with the coach, Jason Roby, on homecoming day here in a beautiful setting, gorgeous fall afternoon. Heck of a first half, back and forth. We'll talk about some stats, but overall, Jason Roby, give me the flavor of the game, Coach.
Well, when you're averaging 17 yards a carry on the ground, I think that speaks volumes. It doesn't matter how many plays you run. It doesn't matter how many attempts. We're talking about a running game from this Curry College team, specifically the young man we spoke about in the pregame, Monty Quinn, just having a day out here today, and we'll get to see more of him, I'm sure, in the second half. But to me, that is the difference. You know, everything else kind of equal, kind of even. We've only seen one punt today. Penalties 5 and 4 for each team, but that is the huge differing factor for me.
If you look at the stat sheet, I mean, time of possession, Nichols, plays,
43 plays to 20 plays.
Yeah,
I mean, you're on pace to run close to 90 plays today.
You'd look at it and say they might be in the close game or even leading.
Yeah.
But Monty Quinn has 220 yards in the hat trick, 3 touchdowns, 2 of which were on a 76-yard gallop and a 64-yard gallop. And the kid is lights out. Dynamism is all I can say about the guy.
For most people, that's
season.
That's 2 great games.
Yeah.
Not one half. And he is all that in a bag of chips, as we like to say. He's really getting it done. And props to his offensive line who are getting the job done up front. A lot of times he's not getting touched to the second level, and then he just has that ability to make you miss.
And his jukes in traffic are epic. I mean, you think you got him, and then all of a sudden he's 2 yards away from you. That's impressive. Anyway, that tail of the tape right there, 31-13, that's where we sit. It was close for a while. Nichols even had a lead after they went down 3-zip. They made it 7-3, and then it was 10-7, and then the roof kind of started to cave in.
And I'll say this again, Rich. Football is a long game. The college game is long, and if I'm Nichols, I'm going to continue to do the same things that I did in the first half. I'm going to run the football. I'm going to take the opportunity to throw the quick routes. I'm not going to change the game plan just yet. It's defensively that you have to start to make some changes. And look, quick strikes being what they are, if you are Nichols, those quick strikes just gives Curry the ball back faster.
Right. Yeah. All right, yet again, Omar Abatui puts that big boot into the ball, sails it into the end zone. So yet again, Nichols has no opportunity for a return. On the one return they had, the return man, who was Mike Orville, guessed wrong and went back in the end zone, had to come out. He got stuffed at the 1 yard line. But here in the second half, to get going, fresh 15 on the clock, it is 1st and 10 for the Bison at the 25-yard line.
They'll run that speed sweep again.
That sweep, yep.
Yeah, I think your playmaker out there, you want to get Morvan running vertical, not east and west. I know he's got some speed, but for me, 6 foot captain, I want to see what he can do running north and south rather than east and west.
I was down on the field pregame. This kid is built. I mean, yeah. He seems like a bigger kid down there, and you see he's got that speed. But also, we keep talking about it here and there in the first half. Nichols has a very good, quick, and disciplined secondary back there. 4 really good players for Coach Parsons. All right, loss of 2, make it 2nd and 12.
Yeah, it's a cover 2 all the way.
Nice drop back by Snow. Yeah, looking at that, Fioroli, the big fella, he catches it, gets down in a hurry. Big hit right there, knocking him down to the ground by Caden Kehoe.
Looked like Curry College was in a cover 2, and weakness in a cover 2 is the deep middle, because you're asking that Mike linebacker to get a deep drop, and he was not able to get in that space. Good recognition for Snow to find that route in the middle of the field.
25-yard gain. That makes it 1st and 10 at the 43. 13:45 on the clock, and here comes Nevado. Had himself a good half, and he's a hard runner. Again, as we said, all 3 running backs for Coach Marino are freshmen. They had a rash of injuries getting into preseason. All those tailbacks, their starting 3 tailbacks, are out, but these kids are doing a good job. They're experienced now.
They're doing a great job, and they're keeping their legs churning. That last play, you saw the Nichols offensive line reach to their left, and a good job by the defensive front to just change the line of scrimmage.
All right, Nevado picked up 1, make it 2nd and 9 at the 44. Deep snap goes back to Snow. Strong arm lefty looking over the middle for Morvan. We were trying to get him vertical just a moment, Coach. But you mentioned something that some people probably don't know. What's the mic as far as a linebacker?
Yeah, your mic is your middle linebacker. That's the guy that sits in just behind that defensive line. He has the responsibility of finding the deep middle in a cover 2. Cover 2 is you have 2 safeties over the top of all the action. Your corners typically play the flats. So you're giving up something in every coverage, and in that particular coverage of cover 2, you can, at times with play action, you can give up that deep middle.
All right, after that miss, that'll bring up 3rd and 9. 13:05 in the score, 13:06 on the game clock. Yet another deep snap to Snow.
Oh.
And it was just too long. There was just too much time right there, and getting in deep right there was Dylan Adams making things happen, and that's a big loss on the 2nd and 9. Backs him up all the way to the 36-yard line, where they're going to have to put the boot into it and punt it away.
Yeah, you're going to see your second punt of the day here. Good pressure up front by the Curry defense. They brought some folks to the dance, and no answer up front for Nichols.
All right, Foyne's getting back to punt, stands at his 20-yard line. Toes are probably about the 20.5. High snap, he handles it, he gets vertical. This one kind of knuckles off the right side of his foot, hits at the 32-yard line, gets a high bounce, and Nichols will down it right there at the 26-yard line.
Got another flag,
and we got
at
a flag.
45, maybe an unnecessary roughness penalty. We'll check it. But
and if it's an unnecessary, we had a bunch of those in the first half, and it killed a couple drives, Coach Roby.
It did indeed. We'll have to check with the head official here on the 50-yard line. Okay, we're going to get a holding call. So
Number 14, 10-yard penalty.
that'll back them up 10. As we have seen here, the penalty has not really hurt Curry. They just go on longer drives or have bigger plays. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Curry. They'll back them up inside their own 20.
And that's a long walk back.
That's a great punt that Nichols runs. We used to run that exact same punt. Curry had no intention of setting up the return, as they were just staying home and watching, making sure there was no fake employed. And that's a good heads-up coaching. That's situational football.
All right, after a good defensive stand and up 31-13, 12:15 on the clock, the Colonels go back to work. Santino takes the snaps, give it inside to Monty Williams. He makes an initial cutback and then a cut outside. Look at that bounce. The kid has bounce, and he could be gone. It's a question of who can get him, and guess what? Nobody can. And the kid from South Carolina does it again. There's no laundry on the fields, and he is in the purple turf yet again for his 4th TD. What a play.
Watch that second level. You're going to go back and watch this on the replay on the Northeast Sports Network. I think he shakes 2 kids out of their cleats. I didn't get the numbers on him, but it was an impressive thing. He gets to that second level. Got a great block down the field. Finds himself in the end zone. He's having himself a day, and according to Coach Parsons, he hasn't really played a lot of second-half football, so he could be shooting for the record books here on homecoming weekend, Rich.
Well, he had 220 coming into the half. That was an 84-yard scamper to find pay dirt to get yet again. Quattro for numero uno.
We'll have to use our friends at the Northeast Sports Network to see just what the Division III rushing record would be. Maybe you have to go, I don't know, maybe
Malibu Kelly Hayes will bring him out of retirement.
say maybe Joe Dudek out of Plymouth State back in the 80s.
Oh, look at you.
Finished, I think he finished 8th in the Heisman voting that year. And was it 85?
Yeah,
maybe?
how about that? That's one I hadn't thought about in forever.
We call that cocktail trivia, Rich. So.
Well, I'm not above it. That's for darn sure.
38-13, 12 minutes to go in the third frame.
Well, that was quite a drive.
Well, and that's what we talked about, right? It really doesn't matter where they start. It's just going to turn into a longer run. Here comes
All right.
the kick.
Abatui is lining up. He's got a big leg. Every kick has flirted with or gone into the end zone. Orville backs it up one more time, 5 yards deep, and he catches it, and that'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Now Curry College, having been up 7-3, down 10-7, is down 38-13. That's a long, tall hill to climb, Coach.
Well, now you have to start thinking about taking some shots. You have to start thinking about pushing the envelope a little bit. We talked going into the half. Do you have any trick plays up your sleeve? Do you have anything that can get you some big chunks of yardage here? Obviously, the last thing you want to do is give the ball back to this Colonel team, but you also have to do some scoring yourself. We know that this Nichols team can score. They've scored 60-plus points before in a game.
2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we have a new quarterback.
Yeah, we do have a new quarterback.
Rich.
Ethan LaGuardia came in, South Windsor, Connecticut fella. He stands 6'1", 185. And look, Ian Snow, he got banged up. That left knee was hurting him. That wasn't on him in that first half at all.
No, there was some pressure there. And you know, your mechanics throwing the ball, anytime you have a knee issue or any kind of a lower body issue, a lot of people don't realize your throwing rhythm, your throwing motion can be affected by your legs.
Yeah. Well, that one almost picked off. It ricochets off of everybody in traffic. Holy cow. And Leo Yardumian looking up at the heavens going, how'd that one get away from me?
That was a...
And then having a shot at it off the ricochet was Tayshaun McGee. Everybody had a look at that one. 11:21 on the clock after it falls to the turf and backed up a bit. It's going to be 3rd and 14 for the Bison, affectionately known as the Herd. And this is tough when you're LaGuardia. They probably got the word in the tent at halftime. There's a big rush. He ducks under it, gets a righty throw off. That's got possibilities. He's got leather all the way down the sideline. In a hurry, he's going Danny McKenney. We were waiting for him to break loose, and that short pass got him the opportunity to run under it. Right, Coach?
We talked about this early on. It absolutely did an underthrown ball. You throw it short of the coverage, but more than that was the ability to climb the pocket a little bit, avoid the pressure. He threw the out and up, so you needed to buy yourself a little more time against that pass rush, and he did just that, was able to heave it as far as he could, and a nice job of changing the sticks.
Shades of Patches O'Houlihan there. He went dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. All right, long gain, a great gain, all the way down to the 31-yard line. That'll make it 1st and 10, 10:32 on the clock, and trailing by 25. Nice little inside fake, and LaGuardia takes off, goes through the I'd say tackle on the far side right there, picks up a nice chunk on 1st down.
Yeah, nice.
That's good
play.
momentum.
Call that quarterback wrap, and backside tackle will pull to the play side. Quarterback follows it. I'm pretty sure that was the offensive line move. Either that or they were reading the 3 technique. That's where the defensive tackle was lined up. So,
all right.
Either way, nice gain.
Give him 6.5. Ball's on the 25-yard line, 2nd and a healthy 4. LaGuardia has it. He dodges again, lets one go with the right hand, and getting back under it. Really great adjustment to the ball by Aaron Canuel, and the 6'1", 190 receiver gets himself pay dirt, and that's a quick strike answer back. Not Nichols' style all day. Good answer.
Yeah, a great answer, and there's the difference, right, between Snow and LaGuardia based on the injury. LaGuardia able to step up and into that throw to put some mustard on that hot dog and get that thing down into a place where the receiver could catch it. Nice job of avoiding the rush. Good change of pace there, and they're on the scoreboard.
All right, Foyne's in. He missed one. That would have made it 14, but now he's got a chance to rectify that. High snap, good handle, and good job right there putting it down by Braden Aylward, coach's son, as we were saying, from Tewksbury.
Yeah.
Good hands right there. He's a receiver. So you like your hands, guys, back there. Good job by him.
So if you're Nichols, and we talked about this when they took possession of the ball, you have to start taking some chances. You have to start moving the football. The downside of that is you're going to give your opponent the ball back that much faster, but you've got to score some points, maybe hope for a turnover, maybe hope for some penalties that change field position to keep you in this game, a 3-score game at this point.
And as we exited the first half, Coach, we talked about Coach Marino's philosophy about, yes, emotion-laden game, big day here at Nichols with the throng, sea of people, great atmosphere. Everybody's excited. You get down big, 38-13. You can get emotional, but he said we want to play with emotion, not emotional. And we just saw a poised comeback right there.
You get one game a week. And that is the thing that you work all those hours for that one game a week, that one opportunity that you get. You want to take advantage of that time. Great drive by Nichols. We'll see if they can do it defensively now.
All right, Foyne's ready to put a boot on it. Back is the trusty tandem of DePina and Chaplin. And DePina's got it yet again. He had a great return in the first half. Those hot yellow shoes coming near side toward our booth. He picks his way through outside north of the 25 and then bulls his way north of the 30. Good run back. He ran about 40 yards to gain about 18.
Well, the return was definitely set up to the Curry sideline, the home sideline, give the home fans something to see. It was well blocked at the point of attack, and a good job by Nichols to keep the edge there. They did not come inside of that. You always have that one guy whose job is to turn everything back in towards the field, and that was mission accomplished.
So you're saying the coaching staff is also doing marketing here on homecoming day. All right,
not?
We're at 9:39 in our third quarter here. Curry's up 38-20 after that touchdown drive by Nichols. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. And hopping over the line, we'll see whether he was drawn. Looked like the center was shifting a bit, but I think that's probably going to go against the Bison.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to go against the Bison. Neutral zone infraction. So 1st and 5, you hate giving up those freebies. You hate it even more when it's 2nd and 5 and you give one of those up.
Well, traditional offense, you'd say, hey, we could take a shot here with 1st and 5, but nothing traditional about number 1 back there, Monty Quinn.
That is for sure.
All right, Santino takes it. Good snap throw over near side here to Wesley Williams. We saw him had a lot of speed. He had 296 yards and 5 TDs coming into the game, which is tough when you got an all-star like Monty Williams.
Well, you got to make the most out of your opportunities, right, Rich? And they're doing just that. And the game plan says that they're staying off us. We're going to throw the now routes. We're going to throw the hitch routes. And, really, that is just an extension of your run game. That's like a 5-yard sweep. We used to work on our screen game 15 minutes a day. That's why we were good at our screens.
All right, 6-yard gain right there to move the chains. It's 1st down and 10 on the Curry 42-yard line. And looking to get back to some of that momentum. Almost a good tackle from behind, but Monty Quinn breaks it again. And here we go. Number 1 is number 1 for good reason. Nationwide, the best D3 running back probably we've ever seen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Rich. That was a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
It was.
He broke a tackle, changed directions, and outraced the defense down the field. And that makes you look like, and listen, we've all had that player before that's a game changer. When you don't have that guy, it is a 2-yard loss, and you get questioned for the play call. When you do have that guy and it turns into a touchdown run like that, it's a great play call.
And Evan Roy, he did his job right there.
Yeah.
Number 44 came in from the backside. He did everything, but then this is a slippery young man.
Well,
amazing.
You got to get more than one hat to the dance. You got to get more than one guy to the ball carrier, and one man alone cannot do it.
All right, 58-yard scamper from Monty Quinn gives him 5 TDs on the day. And again, he had 4,500 yards for his career coming in. He may get to $5,000 today.
I think we got to check the national record. We need to check the yardage on that because we're probably witnessing something here pretty special in terms of what Monty Quinn is doing. And as mentioned in the pregame, Coach Parsons talked to us yesterday on the phone. Here's a young man that really hasn't played a lot of the second half of these football games. So he's in there on a special day, and make sure obviously you want to keep him healthy with that touchdown by Nichols. You got to keep the foot on the gas because you can get 3 scores pretty quickly in college ball, 45-20.
Well, Mr. Quinn is certainly showing up and making great use of a homecoming throng here and putting on the show. We called him the show coming in. He's living up to it.
Oh.
This guy's got a leg and a half. This one's 8 yards deep in the end zone. Wow.
It is a weapon to be sure.
Well, I tell you what, Monty has his own record staring him right in the sights. 381 yards, did it on November 9th last season versus Nichols.
Okay.
And rushing TDs in a game. He just tied it. Old record, 1987
Wow.
by Mike Waite. I mean, that's a long-standing record. That's almost as old as I am.
1987, Rich. You were like 40, right?
Well, I feel young watching Monty Quinn put on the show today. That's impressive. The young man came to play, and the senior from South Carolina, captain, shows why he is getting NFL looks. All right, 1st and 10. You got to keep playing if you're the Bison. Throw it out, get it out to your speed guys. Whoa, takes a big hit from his own man on the sideline. It was Nevado. I don't think he got hit harder in the field of play all day.
Yeah, he did a nice job getting to the edge. The edge was not set by the Curry defense, and as a result, and it's only a 2-yard gain, but he did a nice job getting there. Unfortunately for Nichols, he ran about 20 yards to gain 2. 2nd down and 8.
That is a lot of work for that. Well, he's up to 15 carries, 362 yards, 24.1 yard per rush average. That's pretty good.
That's okay.
I would say so.
He's going to sleep well tonight.
All right, 2-yard gain on first, make it 2nd and 8
Little lead
at the
draw.
27. There's that draw, really well stuffed by Curry. Like the entire, give everybody a tackle.
Yeah,
And the fans are applauding that one.
I wasn't buying it. I would still like to see him do some stuff with a quarterback. Climbs the pocket, finds those crossing routes, finds the one-on-one matchups. We'll see what they dial up here.
All right, that was Dylan Adams and Vasquez Bastardo again. 3rd down, and they gave him a couple of inches there, make it 3rd and 7. It's a healthy 7 at that. 7:27 on the clock as the 7:27s are flying into Logan just beyond. All right, LaGuardia, as we mentioned Logan, I mentioned LaGuardia, and this one sails high and out of bounds near midfield, and that'll turn the ball over and to the punter's capable foot, and they'll have to punt that away. The Bison can't make any hay out of that opportunity, face themselves down 25 and giving it back to the fellas in purple.
The protection was decent there, just couldn't connect with his receiver trying to throw back against the grain. See if we get any kind of a rugby punt here on the snap. Nope, they'll definitely just kick away.
Foynes put some leather on it, kind of knuckles off the right side of his foot again, and back there to play is Ridley. He lets that one go. It's kind of the poison call right there. Just get away from it. Better we have it than they have it.
That's it.
And look at that. I love that. The old school fanning the football to keep it moving downfield. There's just a breath of breeze here at Milton today. They helped their cause right there. Maybe got an extra yard out of it.
Any ever scientific experiments that prove that actually works? I don't know.
Well, you could get the kids out
on it, right?
We get out to Nashua on the Stellos turf and see what we can do.
Let me know how that works out.
Can we get a grant for it?
Only if you write it.
I'll be happy to.
Okay.
I'm working on one now for a charity I work for.
There you
so
go.
yeah, good stuff. Getting some young people a look at Capitol Hill, which would be great. All right, putting it in play. 6:58 on the clock in the third. 45-20 on the scoreboard, and Curry College goes right back to work at the 19-yard line. Quinn still in the backfield. Nice flare pass right there to Wesley Williams. Very sure-handed kid. We've mentioned him a few times. Pretty good gain on first down. We'll see where they
take
set
what
it.
the defense is giving you. You'll take that out route all day long, especially when the corners and the secondary are bailing off. They're respecting the deeper ball, so just keep checking it. And we don't know that that's the play dialed in. They may be checking that based on the alignment of the corners on number one out here.
Well, if anybody knows, it'll be Coach Roby. All right, they picked up 6 on that Santino to Williams connection. Make it
Same
2nd
play.
down and 4.
Out and up. There it goes.
Oh, and this time they bite low. Oh, and Williams just gets a left hand on it. Can't corral that. In pursuit right there was Malachi McLean. But, boy, if he had one more finger on his left hand, he would have probably been in the purple pay dirt area right there.
In the Barnum Bailey Circus. But the that out route was open again. They were what we call squat coverage, or we used to call it King's coverage, where we line up 10 yards off the ball to disguise it. And they ran that out route, and he jumped it. And that was another 6.
All right, well, after that swing and a miss, it remains 3rd down and 4 at the 25-yard line. The Colonels go back to work in a quick Quick throw out to the right side, looking for the normally sure-handed Colin Ridley. That one bounces off the mitts and out of bounds.
And
that brings up fourth.
We don't have the angle here, but that looked like it could have been a backwards pass, Rich.
I agree.
And if it was, that could have gone the other way. So interesting play call. Wasn't sure if they were trying to dial in some double pass action potentially. Didn't see what was happening behind it, but a tough play nevertheless.
It was so quick it couldn't have been tunnel activity right there. But next time I bet you he comes down with that pass. Ridley's got good hands. All right, well, back to punt is Abutui.
First punt of the day for the Curry, if I'm not mistaken.
He's got the school record, 53 yards. Let's see the punting skill. It's Rainmaker, as Coach Roby calls it. And sitting down on it, fair catch right there. Smartly by Jack Moorband, the senior captain, wide receiver, and punt returner.
Changing the field position. And anytime that ball is sky high like that, it allows the coverage team to get down the field quickly. You are wise to just make that fair catch. And that's exactly what Moorband did. It'll be 1st and 10 for Nichols from their own 36.
Yep. 6:12 on the clock when we get going again. Fresh 25-second play clock. And speaking of 25, Nichols remained down 25. That is a long hill to climb. All right, LaGuardia in the shotgun back there, flanked right there by Ricardo Navedo. He's had himself a good game. Going in motion right there is Murphy.
Tight end.
Good throw over down the seam right there. Big hit. Wow.
Moorband had to come back to it. Took a big hit. Couldn't make the catch. It looked to me like on this side they were trying to get the tight end in a one-on-one situation by motioning away from the play, but that ball could have been caught, just was not, and so it'll be 2nd and 10.
At the 36-yard line, 6:06 on the clock. After that incompletion, the clock is stopped for the moment until we get the snap. Navedo to the left this time. LaGuardia in the shotgun, takes the ball, looking right all the way. Finds the hands of Moorband this time. Senior captain hauls that one in, moves up the sidelines, making it a manageable 3rd down. And it looks like 3rd and 4 will be the call. Ball's going to sit at the 43-yard line as we are under 6 minutes now, headed to 5:45.
And you're in 4-down territory here, Rich.
Yeah.
You have to. So the way that you look at it is you have 2 more downs to get 3 yards.
Oh yeah, down 25. You got to be. All right, long time getting that play in, chewing up about 20 seconds just to get the call, but you want to get it right. Keep the chains moving. All right, inside fake, good read. Nice little route right there finds the trusty hands yet again of McGee, who's been all over the field, both sides of the ball and punts. Good player right there. That'll move the sticks. Just what the Bison needed. And there's to complement the coach's sentiment that you don't want to get emotional, you got to do something quickly, but you don't want to hurry, right, Coach?
Yeah, well, again, you don't want to put the ball back in the hands of Curry College. The other thing is it was a nice play design. They picked up the pressure. And another nice catch there.
There we go. Down
to the races, rather, we go.
Far sidelines. He's been doing it all game long, has Aaron Canuel. Quality receiver, playing a good secondary and getting a good game out of it. 4:35 on the clock.
A nice pass, a nice yards after catch, and another 1st down, moving the chains.
Just what the doctor ordered for the moment. But Curry College frequently, when Nichols has gotten a push, they've been able to stall them at some points. They've had some good drives of their own. As we said, they can put up points.
They've proven it time and again.
All right, LaGuardia in the shotgun. Ball's loose, knocked out from behind.
I think they're saying it, yeah, and the referee at the second level made the right call. He was pushing the ball forward. I think it's the right call. You'll watch it on the Northeast Sports Network replay, but I'm pretty sure that was an incomplete pass.
A little bit of a discussion right there. Probably a little questions from both sides of the
a lot of discussion right in front of us, Rich, for sure.
No kidding.
By the home fans.
Yeah, it's been fun. Unfortunately, we have a little 7-second
Are
delay.
these windows soundproof, Rich? I don't.
I don't know. My virgin ears have been assaulted all day long. Nice little fake, nice
Well,
little seam route. Whoa,
oh,
ball's up in
boy.
the air. Can anybody come to have it? No, hits nothing but the carpet. But boy, that was dangerous for the moment.
And a nice job by Curry. They sit in that window. You're going to get safety help, and they rob that route or they jump that route in almost an interception. And that is going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. So, again, you're 4 down territory, no harm, no foul. You can go right back to the drawing board. You could probably run the same exact play to the other side.
There we go. All right, folks, it's 3rd down here. 3rd and long after the 2 incompletes. 3rd and 10, the ball sits just inside the 30. We'll give it to 29.
Timeout.
And we got a timeout on the field. It looks like Nichols called it. I think they want to get this one right. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, well, no question. You're running out of opportunities. You're running out of possessions here. So you only have so many more to put a dent in that scoreboard, so to speak. So they want to make sure they get something dialed in. It might be something that we haven't seen yet. It might be something that they come back on 4th down and short. They might try to get them to jump off sides if they can get 5 or 6 yards here. We'll see what the plan is. They'll talk it over, and I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Parsons and his staff are talking about in the huddle right now. Keep everything in front of you. Try not to get into that, that situation where they move the sticks and continue to go down the field. You have to make a big play here, but watch out for the trick play. We talked about that. They might be dialing something up. They're not talking about a handoff up the middle of the field right now.
Right. And, yeah, sure, you're up big. You're up 45-20 on your own field. You've got a lot of momentum and the best running back in the country. But you don't take anything for granted, right? You want to keep your rhythm and realize that we got a whole season to play, right?
Well, and in that regard, you got to keep people healthy too. So you have to start thinking, when is the time to get my guys out of the game? When does that occur? Well, this Nichols team, there's your little trick play. They fake a little speed sweep out to the right, and he's off to the races.
Beautiful.
Touchdown.
Went right, fake right. Morvan weaves his way through traffic, and he finds the end zone.
So as a coach, Rich, here's the thing you talk about, right? If you're going to run a play like that, you're going to run it to your sideline. And so those are the things that I'm sure the Curry coaches were talking about. Listen, they're not calling timeout to run a dive play.
Yep.
They're going to dial something up here to take a shot knowing they can come back on 4th down. Where do you think that play is going to occur? Mm-hmm. Probably on that sideline. So as a result, there's your touchdown. But again, you're asking kids to try to process all that information. It was a well-designed, well-run play by Nichols.
All right, so at 3:46 in the 3rd, Nichols gets 6 back on the boot of Nick Foynes yet again. He only missed 1. They shaved the lead to, manageable, 45-27. The only problem is it's hard to stop Monty Quinn.
It is, but really, and again, if you're Nichols, you can't score 18 points in one possession. So you have to take it one possession at a time. Easier said than done, I know. But the thing you're thinking about is, if we can get a change of possession here, if we can get a turnover, now it's a 2-score game, and we're in different territory than we've been since the beginning of the game. They're hanging around. These are college players. There's a lot of pride over on that other sideline. There's a lot of fight in this team. We know that. You're not tied for the league because you don't have a good football team. You have kids that can score. You have kids that care. And you have kids that have practiced all week to get to this point.
All right, we stand at 45-27 as they put the ball back in play. Ball set at the 35-yard line for the big boot off of Foynes' cleat. Trailing by 18, but you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's – yes, sir.
All right, this one comes down to the DePina yet again, and he's running at the sidelines yet again, sheds a tackle at the 17-yard line and grinds his way laterally this time. Good job finally this time staying in your lanes, protecting that home side edge that we've seen all day long available to Pina. And Nichols finally did exactly what it needed to do at the moment it needed to do it and pinning him deep.
The return was definitely set up to come to this sideline. The way that you teach the kickoff drill is anytime the front line guys are trying to block you, you want to head for their upfield shoulder and rip off towards their back and then regain your lane. A nice job that time by the kickoff team of Nichols. Good field position. defensively, they just have to keep everything in front of them.
All right, DePina ran about 30 yards to get about 5 on that return. 3:35 in the clock, 1st and 10 for the Colonels at their own 19-yard line, up 45-27. Santino fakes the give this time to Monty Quinn, and he rips off a nice gain of his own.
Nice job of carrying out the fake, and then quarterback just keeping it on that zone read. I'm not sure if it was designed or if it was a choice, but he came off to the right side and keeping that defense honest, Rich. You can't just assume that Quinn's going to get the ball every time. You got to stay home on the backside. You got to make sure that there's no cutback, and you got to make sure the other guy doesn't have the football. Pick
Without
up about
doubt.
8.
All right, the grad student from New Jersey shows he's got some wheels of his own. He takes the snap with Quinn to his right. Looks on his first read, nothing doing, pulls the ball back down, rolls out right side, looking for Matt Bowen. Would have been a 1 or 2 yard gain, but there is a flag down far side.
Yeah, that had no chance. He was going to be a sidearm sling originally. Of course, home sideline saying that's going against Nichols, and Nichols pointing the other way. Somebody's right. Somebody's wrong. We'll look for the man in the white hat to give us the verdict. Long discussion going on over on the side.
That's a lot of chatter for it's going to go against the Colonels right there.
Ineligible man again. That's the second time that's happened today.
First one wiped out that touchdown.
A lot of times, Rich, when it's supposed to be a quick pass, the linemen have a clock in their head, 1,000, 2, 1,000, balls away, get up the field. When a play is broken and the quarterback has to scramble, that's when you get those ineligibles downfield.
Gotcha. All right, well, 2nd down and 7 right here. Here comes Quinn. He bursts through an initial break. He breaks 3 tackles right there. Finally run down from behind by Garrett Manning. Boy, if Manning hadn't had some wheels of his own, I think number 1 would have had number 6 of the day.
That's the first time he's faced any kind of resistance up in the middle of the field. He bounced off a couple of tacklers and was finally pulled down just shy of the 50. But they'll move the sticks again as we head almost to the inside the 2-minute mark.
All right, a little out-of-town score. Husson College is laying it on New England College, 48-0 in the 4th quarter. Here it's 45-27.
Taking
as
a shot.
Santino goes to the air. He shows he's got some cannon right there. We got flags just inside the 20. I think we're going to have a hold or interference downfield. Yeah, probably a hold because nobody was.
I think you're going to get a hold. It looked like the receiver had beaten the man, and they were in straight cover. It looked like straight cover 0, which means man-to-man all the way.
And Bowen had a head of steam going down that sideline right there. He's finally making the call himself after the long walk back. Well, if you can't get yardage with Quinn, get yardage with a yellow flag, Coach.
There it is. And, those are things that are just part of the game. Those aren't personal fouls. Those aren't roughing calls. Those aren't, Oh.
So I think they just formally announced that Quinn set the all-time record
I think you're right.
for a game here. It had been standing for years and years. And
87, you said,
yeah, he
Rich?
broke his own record. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was the 5 touchdowns that he's flirting with as well.
I'll
Wonder
give
if they're
it
going to try to get it to him. And here we go. He goes around left side. He's got one man to beat. It looks like it might have been a hold, but he picks his way all the way down to the 3-yard line. Monty Quinn does what Monty Quinn does, and the show has shown up today. Yet another big run. The man can go.
That was just a nice job of reading your blocks. And as impressive, and you mentioned, Rich, there may have been a hold there, but unselfish play of the receivers helping their teammate out, engaging in the block, staying engaged, and giving Quinn the ability to cut right or left based on those blocks. Fantastic job of blocking downfield.
Yeah, so he had just eclipsed the 381 he set last year. And he, right before that long run, we'll get the stat updated in just a moment, but he had just broken that. And there he goes again. He's looking for pay dirt, and he's looking for his 6 of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be 2nd down. He'll fall just short. Looks like he's just about inside the 1-yard line.
Yep, and we hit the 1-minute mark. It'll be 2nd and goal from there. My guess is we're going to give it to number 1.
You playing the percentages, are you, Rich?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to bring his yards per carry down, though.
Well, my parlay will be all ruined. 45-27. Nichols looking to eclipse the 50 mark yet again.
Oh, what a delay.
Beautiful. And there it is, folks. No flags, nothing but fun and big accolades from the crowd. A thick crowd here on homecoming. And Monty Quinn has just eclipsed a record that has stood since 1987. Mike Waite, 5 touchdowns. No more. Number 1, Monty Quinn from South Carolina, is all alone at the top of the Nichols record books. What a day for the young man.
I'm going to tell you this, too. You're going to go back and watch that replay on the Northeast Sports Network. You see just how patient he is at the 1-yard line, waiting for things to open up. That's just a young man that understands the nuances of how offensive line blocking works.
And that brings him up to 437 for the day. And finally, I didn't think he'd ever miss Apatui with that big
His
leg.
leg's about to fall off.
Why? Yes, tired. He's tired. Got to get him a peg leg. Well, that makes it 51-27 with the miss. But looking grim if you're wearing white today. But having themselves a day on homecoming here in Milton, it's going to be good atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere now. Should be a lot of joviality later.
Well, Nichols on the wrong side of the history here, and obviously they're trying to do things that are going to make them a better team. There's still a lot of football left to play. You have a full fourth quarter, and they're going to continue to do things because, look, you have another game next week. You'll put this one in the rear view when it's over, but you still have a lot of time to make a name for yourself. Some guys are going to get in that maybe haven't gotten a chance to play, and
sure,
you get yourself on film, and coaches can evaluate.
And importantly, and I knew this as decades of lacrosse, people get banged up. You got to get your next layer, your 3 deep guys, some action, because you have to become a full-fledged football team, and you're not playing for October merely. You want to be playing into November. And look, get your whole program going in the right direction. And even if guys can't make it back off the IR, Coach Roby, you still want some depth going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think for this Nichols team, again, they were tied at the top of the standings with 2 conference wins, and
along with Endicott and Curry.
And Endicott and Curry, and you'll build on that. And I think you ran into a pretty good team here in Curry College, and a pretty special player having a fantastic day. We've all had those days at work, right, Rich? Those are things that happen, and it's a special day for him.
And his next milestone will be crossing the 5,000 mark for his career, and that will happen. It could happen here today. He had about 4,500 yards coming in, depending on which source you looked at. And we'll get with our SID in a bit. All right, after 1st and 10, they got 2 yards, and LaGuardia goes back to the air. And this one, dropping back underneath. Really good back pedal right there by Jaden Scott. Got his hands on it, just everything but the drop right there. Or he got the drop, everything but the corral.
Yeah, nice job of recognizing the pre-snap read and then what was happening during the course of that play. He read the pass block and got himself into a position where he could make that play. Just did everything but intercept it.
All right, the kid out of Greenwich High from Greenwich, Connecticut, down in Fairfield County. Makes a nice cerebral play. Just got his mitts on it. Next time he'll bring that in, I bet. 11 ticks left on the clock. 3rd and 8 here at Curry College for the Bison. And the nose of the ball just at the 27-yard line. LaGuardia back, looking left all the way. And look at that seam. That's a good catch in traffic, and taking a hard hit is Jack Morvan. The trusty senior captain makes another catch. And he paid the price for it. Was it Morvan?
Yeah, it was Morvan.
Yeah, he took a big shot.
And, he knew he was going to take that shot. He was running that deep, and the safety came downhill on him and just made a great catch and actually kept his feet off the initial contact. He was shaken up a little bit, but a nice job by the senior captain. He's having a nice showing for himself out there this afternoon. It's going to bring us to the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that 11 seconds on the clock ticked off with that catch. They stopped it momentarily for injury time, but then you keep it rolling. So After 15-minute third, we're going to have 15 minutes in the fourth to round us out of this game here at Curry College. This is Rich McDonough, along with Jason Roby, the coach for the Northeast Sports Network. The fellas are going to take two. We're going to do the same. All right, they didn't take two. They took about 20, so we're back early from our
They must want to get to
quarter
the
break.
festivities as well.
Yeah, they got dinner on the stove. Okay, LaGuardia hands it inside to Nevado. He's got a head of steam, bowls his way out for a few yards, moves the chains, a little bit of a chunk right there, maybe 4. We'll wait for the Zebras to set the ball. Yeah, it looks like the ball's on the 44-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 6 as we are into our fourth quarter. Finally, we are at 51-27. Lots of scoring here, but a whole lot more scoring for the Curry College Colonels.
According to the stats I'm looking at, the Division III single-game rushing record is 465 yards by Cartel Brooks of Heidelberg University in 2013.
Well, Monty Quinn, what was the total?
450, it looks like 465.
All right, so Monty Quinn is 28 yards away from that, standing at 437. He could make history 3 times today, much like the kicker did for Curry a couple weeks ago with those 3 long boots.
One thing I will say, Nichols, nice job at the point of attack, still getting downhill in their run game. We have a big 3rd down here, but you're in 4-down territory again. It looks like Curry's going to bring some heat.
All right, 3rd and 6 at the 44.
Nice play.
A little bubble right there. Finds yet again, it's Morvan. Boy, he's tough. He got rocked on that last play right as the third quarter finished up, and he's right back on the field. You got to like his grit, Coach.
He's a football player through and through, and just continuing to grind, continuing to make plays, and kudos to him.
All right, ball's on the 48. It's 4th down. Line to gain is the 50, so make it 4th and 2 for your math majors as the clock rolls at 13:50. All right, in motion. That's the big fella Fiore. They give it off to Nevado inside. Is it Nevado?
I think
yes,
he got
Nevado. He's a tough runner, first-year player. You like him? And, yeah, he fell down right at the chalk, Jason.
It was a great the hole opened up, and just as quickly as it opened up, it closed. It was cloudy, and then it was clear, and then it was cloudy again, but he got the yards to gain the 1st down.
All right, the 6'2", 215, Carson Clark comes back in wearing number 44. He sets himself to LaGuardia's left side. LaGuardia about 5 yards deep, ready to catch that snap in the shotgun. Big, quick rip out to Morvan. He catches it. Nice pivot to get by the initial defender and get to the next level, Coach.
Yeah, good rollout, good throw, and an even better catch by Morvan. Breaks the tackle, yards after catch. Impressive for the young man, and making it 2nd and very manageable.
Yep, 7-yard gain on first, make it 2nd down and 7. 40 is the yard. My bad. I'm not a math major. I was better at math when I was a bartender 1,000 years ago. All right, that makes it 2nd and 3. Thanks to Coach Roby for keeping me in check right here. 12:30 on the clock as Nichols gets ready to snap. Looking at a 3-yard. Now that's going over the top. He is taking a shot. Morvan's open.
Oh.
Question is, did he get a foot in? No, both feet were out of bounds, and the ref was right there looking at it.
And I don't think he caught it, Rich, as you can see him chase
it's dry.
the ball.
He dropped it. So
where's the sun in relation? Wonder if he was looking up into it. Trying to get my bearings in this box, but I can't. But
it's coming from his left, so I think it's a non-factor. Maybe he got distracted by the rugby game going on in the background right there.
So huge play here, 3rd and 3.
12:23 on the clock after the incomplete. Ball's on the 43-yard line. Fioroli goes in motion. Big, deep drop right there. Snapped out of his hands. Stripped. Holy cow for the 1 second. And, boy, Morvan goes skyward. And Zach Wilson came through that backfield and just as LaGuardia was moving, he reached that paw out there and ripped the ball away momentarily. Good reaction, though, and recognition by LaGuardia, and then still to make a play.
Staying with it, and in the heat of the battle, knowing where your routes are going to be, and good for him to stay with it. That could have gone sideways real quick.
And backup quarterback clearly studied the playbook, understands where everybody's going to be. Well analyzed by Coach Roby right here. 4th and 3. This is an important down right here for a bunch of reasons. We'll get to that in a moment. LaGuardia gets the snap deep. Big high throw. Finds in traffic. He had a 3, but it's Justin Murphy. They have 2 3s on the roster. One on D and one on O.
He got the yards to gain. Nice job of getting that ball at the high point, bringing it down, and forward momentum was stopped. He got the first.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Again showing signs of life. Nice throw out to the – a cross-field throw finds Fioroli in traffic, and the big fella trying to wrestle everybody down. Little introductions post-play right there, but the big 6'1", 185. He plays like a much larger guy.
Yeah, 6'3", 220, right, for the number 87.
Oh, my bad. Excuse me, looking at the wrong.
I was looking at the same thing you were.
Yeah.
Because he is a big fella.
I'm going, how is that guy 185? Gives me hope at 185.
Those are big shoulder pads.
No kidding. All right, 11:20 on the clock. Nice play on first down. Moves the chains yet again. Ball sits at the 17, maybe the 16.5-yard line. Bison have it there. LaGuardia doing a good job in relief here. Nice bounce outside, inside clogged up. What does Nevedo do? He sees that seam open up where the crash down came, and he takes advantage of it. Good IQ running right there.
Yeah, and they found something off that right side. They've had some success running between the tackles off to the, and more specifically off to the right-hand side. So a nice job by the O-line to create a little wall there, and nice jump cut.
Gained about 1.5 yards. Nose of the ball is at the 15-yard line here in our fourth quarter. 51-27. Home field, Curry College in control and have been. LaGuardia does a little fake, possibly an RPO, but to Nevedo, but he runs into a monster wall.
Yeah, you can see the frustration on the offensive lineman. Looked like the O-line thought they should have given it up to the running back. The quarterback saw something differently. And you have your reads on that key. Sometimes you're reading the tackle. Sometimes you're reading the end. And what ended up happening there was Curry probably presented a tough read for the quarterback, and he just kept it.
Well, at 6'5", 260, Vasquez Bastardo presents a challenge on the interior right there, playing over that football. But I think Nevedo had some acreage if he had gotten the ball there.
I probably would have given it.
Yeah. All right, 3rd and 9 after no gain. Going for the corner of the end zone. Good coverage in tight right there. That looked like Cherry again. He's had himself a good game, has the INT in the first half. And time again, he keeps guys in front of him, and then he's tough when he's in tackling mode.
That was 100% route recognition. That's pregame stuff. That's film study, knowing where that route's going, beating him to the spot. And he knew they wanted to run to the back corner, and he beat the receiver to the point.
So you got a pretty good kicker here. Would you want to make it a 21-point game, or are we 4-down territory? Tough to say.
I think you keep the ball a little longer, but
Oh,
I don't think you might not have a choice.
Great hit from behind and throw. Couldn't tell whether he got it off. I think he hit him right before the release right there. Great closeout from Dominic Baez coming in from his right side. And that'll be a turnover on downs. That's our first turnover on downs of the game. 9:37 in the fourth.
The biggest question of the day is coming our way right now, Rich. Will we see number 1 in there to try to get the record, or will they call it an afternoon for him? He's out there in the offensive huddle, but there's more than 11, so they're talking
I think you want
strategy.
to get him the record. He's 28.
In the game.
He's 28 behind the all-time leader in D3. I don't know how long that record stood. Did he catch the year? Coach Roby.
Timeout.
He is the sleuth.
Well,
forget Tom King, TKpedia. All right, he is back there with Santino, and he's going to be to Santino's right off the snap from the shotgun. 9:37, 51-27 in favor of Curry. They give it off to number 1. He takes off. That's what he does best, and here he goes.
He's got it.
He's over the 50, and he's going yard, folks. This is going to be a monster day for the young man from South Carolina. He will have his 7th touchdown of the day. He will eclipse the 5,000-yard mark for his career, and he will be the all-time D3 single-game rushing record holder. Wow!
That record was set in 2013, and they just announced it right there.
Well, you don't like running up scores. I never like running up a score as a coach. I don't think that's running up the score. It's a special day for the young man, and he's within sight here on homecoming. I would not, as an opposing coach, and I've been that coach, I would not have been upset by that.
No, and I think, if you're Nichols, the other thing you're thinking about, okay, they're coming out in their stack receiver look. You kind of know what play's coming, and he's just a special player on a special day, and you give it to him.
Low snap handle by Sullivan. He's now trying to create. He throws across his body, nearly picked off by the waiting Caden Kehoe, and that falls down to the turf. Point is no good. Attempt is no good, so it remains merely a 30-point lead at the 9:23 mark here in the fourth quarter.
I think, the other thing too, Rich, it's important for us to say for all the folks that are watching at home on the Northeast Sports Network, what you're witnessing out here today is a pretty special feat by this young man, and he gets his just due. But let's not forget the fact that there are some guys up front and that are making those holes. There are some guys at the receiver position that are making those blocks, and they share in that with him as well. They are every bit as much a part of that new record as he is, and I'm sure he'll give them their props.
Without
at the end of the game.
Yeah, you got Maynard, Sims, Perry, Ramirez, Smith, Penta, Coppinger, a real leader out there, and Colby. Yeah, they're getting it done. And but that's when, at the next level, that's when you buy that line, a bunch of wristwatches,
that's
right?
It, right, yeah.
And a steak.
Depending what round you go in. It might even be an SUV. Who knows?
All right, Abu Tui does what he does best and puts some serious leather. I mean, that ball travels, 65 yards and then some frequently with this guy.
Rich, does that mean you're going to buy me a burger on the way home? Is that how that works?
Anything you want,
okay,
man.
Brother.
I'm driving, so I'm buying. All you have to do is just keep me entertained with some jokes. I closed up shop. This is my 5th game of the week.
I've got to save material for tomorrow, Rich. I got 6 tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you're glutton for punishment.
Well,
and it's Pop Warner too.
Let's not go there. Yeah,
you need the leather sofa, my man. All right, well, Nichols down 30 with 9:23, sets up shop at the 25-yard line. Miles to go before we sleep. I believe that was Robert Frost years ago. And LaGuardia is still in the game, gives it off to Nevedo. He tries to make hay of it, can't do it with the closeout quickly by the defense right there that looked like Don Papa. Yep, 46 got in there. Been waiting to call his name.
Did he try to take the road less traveled? I didn't know if we're going to just start citing some poetry, some different.
I could do that.
Works.
I could do that.
You strike me as a Shakespeare guy. I don't know.
I like it. I do. I have to be honest. I like the old school stuff.
Okay.
I don't like the reprogrammed material.
Very good.
All right, LaGuardia finds anything he can and does a great job getting loose. I tell you, Nevedo has played himself a day.
He has, and that was an RPO right there, Rich. He tried to, he faked the run up the middle, faked it to a back, and then had a nice little swing pass. So
yeah, got himself a little Mahomes sidearm right there. It's in vogue. In vogue. So a pickup of 7 right there, make it 3rd and 3. Ball sits at the 32-yard line. Line to gain is 35-yard line. LaGuardia looking right all the way. Steps up nicely in the pocket. Papa with some defense from behind. Pressure on Fioroli, the big fella. And Papa's letting everybody know that he caused that incompletion.
They get some good push up front on that play, and that pass is incomplete because of that pressure. That's going to set up a 4th down. Looks like Nichols is going to send the punt team on.
My guess is Monty Quinn probably is done for the day.
I would say the day is done, yeah.
It'd be good to get Jordan DePina, who's, next up on the 2 deep. We've seen him a lot of running skills as he's returned a bunch of kickoffs.
Absolutely.
And, nobody's quite got the Monty Smith speed, but he's got wheels of his own. Nice high arcing spiral punt. Goes all the way back and finds Wesley Williams. Oh, excuse me, not Wesley Williams. That's Colin Ridley. And the speedy wide receiver and return guy snakes his way through. We got Laundry flying through the air.
Going to get an unnecessary roughness late hit.
Purple and yellow go go together pretty well.
That's the that's the emotion part coming in right now, Rich, is guys just feeling a little bit upset about maybe the way the day transpired.
I'm loving the fans reffing this game. We've been seeing it all game. I think they picked that one up.
Ooh.
Interesting. You could see
they did.
essentially a personal foul and pick it up.
I saw it, yeah, and I guess they're saying no.
And DePina has joined the backfield formally. Wow, we got to see history today. Lucky us, right?
Impressive, and we thought there might be a chance based on some of the stats we've looked at, based on the track meets that these two teams have gone through the last couple of years.
DePina, look at him hurdling and going through over the 40, down the 30, and he's showing why he's next up, man, as the sophomore. And he goes 55 yards, 63 points on the board and counting for the Curry College Colonels on homecoming day. An electrifying run. How about that leap?
That was pretty good. The more impressive is how quickly he got back down on the ground and got back to full speed. A nice run, and I kind of thought we might see something like that just based on the dominance of this offensive line here this afternoon.
Wristwatches aplenty coming.
Well, not Ironman triathlons.
There
right?
we go. Well, your wife would know. She's the marathon runner.
That is true.
Abatui's one of the busiest guys on the field today. Only missed one. And he is true. That is a good-looking kick. That goes all the way into the practice field, almost clear across that practice field, adjacent to Walter M. Katz Field here in Milton, Mass. Boy, I got to hand it to the whole SID department here, communications, prep, Northeast Sports Network, and Curry College has really done a good job turning it out today. Electrifying.
Opened their arms to us, Rich, and
including a parking space.
A parking space, and they actually didn't lock us out. It was nice of them to open the door for us.
We got heckled by the police.
Felt like we belonged.
Yeah, we do.
College all over again.
Yeah, we're south of Boston here. We expect it.
A great day here on the campus of Curry College. Beautiful day, and a great homecoming celebration for this Colonel team. I'm sure that coach and the staff and all the kids at the conclusion of this one, they'll look for the next one, but they'll enjoy this one today.
So if I'm Nichols, I'm coaching staff and the players, show me some no quit, right?
I mean, you're playing college football.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the score is. You're fighting for a job, you're fighting for playing time, you're fighting for respect, you're fighting for your school. These kids have pride in their school and in their program, and I would not be surprised if they went down and scored again. They have some firepower, they have some good players. They just ran into a really good Curry team today, but yeah, you're playing for respect, you're playing for pride, you're playing for your legacy. What do you want to be known for?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think any young man or woman that plays college sports, you're not built that way.
Right.
You're not built to lay down and give up.
It's not how we're wired.
You will not see that kind of quit from this team.
All right, so teeing it up at the 25-yard line are the Bison. 1st and 10 from there. 7:49 ticks on the clock. LaGuardia hands it off up the gut. And look, we were talking just now about, what's next. And what is next? We talked. There's a 3-way tie coming into this game with Curry, and the Bison, and Endicott. They're finally home against Endicott next weekend. They're playing 4 of their first 6 games on the road after losing a bunch of starters at this, beginning of the season. And you finally get home. You get to breathe a little. You get to play a top conference foe and right the ship, as it were.
There's, you start to talk about your opportunities, and, you get around 12 opportunities a year, and sometimes your season gets extended a little bit, but you put everything you have, and we talked about investment, right, Rich? When you don't get the return on the investment that you want, you don't stop investing, and this team's going to continue to work, continue to grind, continue to get better, and hopefully get healthy. And turn the page.
Yeah.
And you have to turn the page quickly. You'll learn in film session and film study. You'll watch that and see where you can be better, and they'll get better. They're well coached, and they're a good club.
All right, after Carson Clark picked up that first down, big throw by LaGuardia, looking for the ever-present Jack Morvan on 1st and 10 from the 42. That one falls incomplete at the 6:28 mark. Again, Curry up 64-27, and on Monty Smith homecoming day.
That was nice coverage provided there. It looked like
Lumsden.
Lumsden, yeah, a nice job of. He was beat to the inside, came what we call the long arm. He could secure the tackle with his right arm. His left arm was the long arm, and he knocked the ball down and away. That is just textbook defensive back work.
All right, 2nd and 10 after the long arm of the Lumsden Law. Say that 20 times fast. It is 2nd and 10 from the 42. LaGuardia with that quick. They've been making that play all day long. And the trusty hands of McGee one more time. He advances the ball. Pretty good chunky yardage right there. I think they're waving it up. Yeah, he got the first down by a nose of a football.
Good second effort after contact. Yards after contact. And what that is, Rich, that's effort. That's how you mark effort. After contact, can I get a couple more yards? Can I make the first down? And that's why you say there's no quit in this team.
Yeah. McGee is a strong athlete out there. They got him at tight end. He's 6'1", 260. That's a lot of beef at the D3 level.
For sure.
And as we've seen, he's a very agile athlete in traffic. All right, 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Trailing by a mile with a mile to go. LaGuardia back in his pocket.
Ooh.
Recognizes that the coverage, that the routes broke down with good coverage, and he gets swallowed up by the interior of that line for Curry College.
Yeah, the pocket just collapsed around him, and he didn't have much choice. If trying to ride that wave and come out through the tube, he just couldn't, and it collapsed on him.
And Gabriel Grind gets himself another tackle for the day. He's had a few of those, freshman. Good player. A lot of promise right there.
With a lot of the freshmen that are playing here today, Rich, getting an opportunity to contribute. Little middle screen.
Oh,
intercepted.
And a great interception in tight. Nice job right there by Ryan Yates. The big fella comes down with the deflection, and man, is he happy. He's holding that up like a trophy, Coach Roby.
And look at the team celebrate around him. All the starters jumping up and down, going out to see him, patting him on the helmet. And that's culture, right? That's just kids caring about one another. That's just an all-go, no-quit attitude and wanting what's best for your teammate, and they'll celebrate over there on the side, all the kids going over to give him a congratulations.
Love it. Always good when the big fella makes a play like that.
No doubt.
Reminds me of that sumo dance in The Replacements. Big fella touchdown, big fella dance. You know, Madden. There's my John Madden. You did a Tom King imitation.
All right. Okay.
Earlier. Great stuff on an awesome day.
It was more like Peter Griffin almost, but it was close.
4:59 on the clock after that INT in traffic. Ball's on the 47, 1st and 10. Got another running back in. That's Eli Obama. Eli Obama comes in. He gets himself bite at the apple. Strong-looking kid, 5'8", 195. Human bowling ball type of player.
He stepped left, waited for his line to create the seam, stepped right, went vertical, 8-yard gain. Nice job on first down.
Love it. But, yeah, here we go. We got a lot of reps for some next up players, and that is meaningful, down the stretch of conference play, and it's meaningful for your future.
Well, that's what makes you relevant in the years to come, because you know if you come here, you're going to get a chance to play early on, and if you get some games that get out of hand a little bit, you're going to get in the game as well. So that's a selling point for anybody looking, at schools. And
Obama comes up lifting. We jinxed him after a pretty good hard hit right there by Kevin Branch. It's 4:04, and the young running back is down on the carpet. Gets hand up, but that ankle's looking pretty rough right now. He's having trouble putting weight on it.
Yeah, he's standing on his own. His players, his teammates coming out to help him. They're
going to pick him up and roll him off the field. That's tough. Boy, you get in for your second carry of the day, and, it's still a sport. Anything can happen to anybody at any time.
Well, you hate to see it at any level, and certainly you hate to see it in a game like this as well.
Boy, they got to carry him all the way to the trainer's bench. That's tough.
Hoping for the best for the young man.
Absolutely.
The training staff will take a look at it.
I've been that guy, and I've coached those kids, and you just ache for them. Also as a dad.
Yeah, well, absolutely correct. It'll be 1st and 10 for Curry.
All right, and Tedesco is in at QB right now.
Nice jump cut.
Hands it off to the next man up. And, boy, we got speed at every position here for Curry as Nathaniel Zachary comes in, 5'10", 196. Strong build on this running back.
That was a good, solid run. And, again, the one thing I've noticed about these Curry backs is they're patient, and then they get to top speed once they see the hole open up. They do a nice job, all of them. And that's something that you work on in practice. That's something that you watch in film session. And there's also a lot of natural ability to be able to do that as well.
All right, 1st and 10 after the sticks get moved. Right back to work in total business is Zachary. He goes left side this time, and he shows some flash and some speed and certainly some power. He picks up almost 5 yards on first, make it a second and a long 5 as we hit the 2:45 mark. We talk about next man up, next game up. The Colonels are visiting they're home versus Western New England next weekend. Western New England is 1-1 in conference play, and they're going to play at 5 o'clock versus Endicott, which, as we said several times, is knotted up in a 3-way tie, not for long. And this kid is strong, isn't he?
1-1, 3-2 overall, not counting what they've done today. But
yep.
And this is a Nichols team today. Tell us who they're playing next, Rich. But this is a Nichols team that we're coming off a bye last week.
Right.
Trying to get themselves healthy, trying to get themselves an extra week of work. And what do you do in that extra week of work is we'll get a timeout called here in the field. During that extra week of work, a lot of times coaches will go back to the basics. They'll teach blocking and tackling and just fundamental stuff. Yeah, they were probably working on Curry stuff, but that gave them an opportunity to take those young freshmen and kind of indoctrinate them a little bit more into the nuances of, what happens in college football.
History, all divisions take reach 500 rushing yards in a single game.
Wow. We just got history again. Monty Quinn, first player in NCAA history to hit 500 yards or more in a single game. What a day.
Wow.
And he's over 5,000 for his career. Had he kept in the game, he might have hit 6,000. But 7 touchdowns in the record books for Nichols. Old record was 5. And he eclipsed the single game D3 rushing record, which had stood since 1987. This young man from South Carolina is a special, special athlete. And we got to see it, Jason Roby.
That was impressive. It certainly is a great thing, a great day, and a great result. And as we say that, look at this, Rich.
Wow, I like this kid too, Zachary.
Nice read. And again, second and third guys blocking downfield.
And you like seeing that because even if it's 3 deep, the 4 deep, their school record for most points in a single game.
This must be the good luck charm, Rich.
They're going to have us back every week. We're going to do basketball tomorrow night.
97 total points on the scoreboard here. 70 of them for the home team, Curry Colonels.
Well, I tell you, as we talked about at the beginning of the game, Nichols has been in high scoring.
Yeah, they gave
highest scoring game in
92?
NCAA history is 92-60.
Yeah.
So 152 points. We won't get there today, but we
do you know the
do have 127.
Do you know the all-time highest score in a game, Rich?
Redskins Bears? No, that was
222 to nothing. I believe it was Cumberland. College.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
And if you're on
Something
Jeopardy
like that.
this week, I predict
Ken
Jennings will be.
I will not be on
giving
Jeopardy.
you a paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, 154 on the clock. What's left? But I was just saying, Coach, you've got your 3rd deep, your 4th deep guys running the exact same scheme
plays. Yep.
with authority, and their assignments are met. It's efficient, and it's aggressive, and it's clean.
Here's why that's more impressive. Because the entire week they've only been running the opponent's stuff as the scout team guys.
Yeah.
So the ability to come in and run your stuff and have that success speaks volumes to, what they're doing themselves. during the course of the week, whether it be a JV game or whether it be a inter-squad scrimmage or
Yep.
whatever the case might be. But it's impressive because you're running the other team's stuff most of the time.
So that's good IQ and it's good coaching. And here comes another good boot. Kid's got leg. When I was at Georgetown, coached by John Thompson, the Hoyas were all that, and national champions. I saw the same thing. 15 guys on the bench, when your third stringers came in, they didn't try to, hero ball it. They ran the offense, and even if it was boring, they ran the offense, and that's a John Thompson discipline formation. And he doesn't want you on the team if you're going to showboat,
Well, remember what you're doing. You're building for the future because the game, they're going to turn that clock off in a few minutes, and the score is going to be in the history books.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you next week.
Nope.
So you've got to continue to build for the future. You have to continue to get recruits in to see this, how fun this is, and what a great place it is to be. And you get a chance to play early on, and it's that's what you're doing. There's a lot that it's not just trying to score points. It's trying to build for the legacy of your program moving forward.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, Georgia Tech versus Cumberland in 1916, 222-0.
Willie Nelson was what, 12? All right, the clock stops at 1:45 after a gain of 4, second down and 6, just inside the 30-yard line. Well,
we have certainly been treated to something here.
Yeah,
pretty special, Rich, and it's been awesome calling this game with you, and everybody here has been fantastic. A beautiful day outside.
Yeah, loved it.
Homecoming. I mean, it just everything aligned perfectly. A beautiful fall day.
Well, we're football fans, and this is pure football. It doesn't matter what level you're at. This is well done, and it just feels great. And you and I have done a lot of high school games together, and I've done a bunch of college games solo. I'm delighted that my partner in crime and I finally got together to bring you Northeast Sports Network coverage of today.
Appreciate
yeah, absolutely.
And I will say, after the snap, I want to talk about the pregame stuff that I saw with both of these teams, particularly Curry. Nice, tough run there up the middle.
No fight, no quit, I mean.
No quit at all. I think they might have enough for the first down if it depends on the mark. It might just be short, but watching this Curry team warm up, they were doing the same things that you would see an NFL team doing, that you would see a Division I college team doing.
The weave.
Same footwork, same drills, the way that they organize their pregame. I mean, it is really impressive. And, football is football.
Well, and we had the fortune of having a good Zoom call with Coach Parsons, and I just felt like his positive vibe, but his command of the game. He was an all Hall of Fame quarterback himself at his college, and knows this game backwards and forwards, and it's coming out, and the fellas are responding to his direction.
Well, attitude reflects leadership.
Right? Attitude reflects leadership. 35 seconds left on the clock here. It has been a day and a half courtesy of Monty Quinn wearing number 1. He is number 1 in just about every category now. He had 7 touchdowns on the day. What a day. He got into the record books, eclipsed the 5,000-yard mark.
What was his final yardage total?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right here. 522. He's the first player in any division to eclipse 500 for a day. And, by a long mile, the top runner in this conference. So this has been a great day. All right, Curry College goes to 5-1, 3-0 in conference play. Nichols, valiant effort, particularly in that first quarter. They fall to 2-4 and 2-1 in conference play with Endicott at home next weekend. And Jason Roby, yet again, I'm so glad we got to do this one together. Hope it won't be our last one. And the Northeast Conference certainly set us up nicely, Jason.
Yeah, thanks to the Northeast Sports Network for having me here. And Rich, it's been my pleasure calling the game with you. We got to see a real good display of athleticism out there today. One for the record books, one that people will be talking about for years. And, again, I hope we get to do this as well.
And for all that, I get to drive you home. Hey, listen, let's thank our buddy, our partner in crime up here, Jamie Reynolds, who produced everything, spinning the dials, doing the audio. As I said, trying to make me look good, which is no easy task anymore. But also special thanks to our our owner and director, Eric Berry, and to my man, Justin St. Pierre. I call him JSP. Forget SVP. Even though I'm a Maryland boy, this has been a lot of fun. So, for my partner in crime, elbow to elbow here in the booth at Curry College on homecoming day, the Colonels come out 71-27 victors and on to face Western New England next weekend. So everybody I just mentioned, many thanks to our sports information department. Great show by Curry College. This is Rich McDonough for the Northeast Sports Network, and we'll see you down the road. Glad you were with us, everyone.